Hey everybody, welcome to day number 3 of our second week of action here in Activision Blizzard Media's first esports tournament, the Agency Showdown. Of course, if you've missed any of the action that's happened so far, you've missed out on quite a lot. Out of our 32 teams that have entered this tournament, we are down to just the final 8, as the Elite 8. It's a phrase that comes from American tournaments. I don't know why, but it is actually quite a cool phrase. And trust me, these teams are elite. A lot of these teams, a lot of these players on these rosters are actually proving themselves to be very good in the Agency Showdown, and I'm extremely excited to see what these teams can bring as we get down to the quarterfinals. But if you haven't been here before, this is your first time watching this tournament, let me give you a quick rundown of what it is. Of course, Activision Blizzard Media, of course, when everyone is in lockdown, they wanted to give everybody something to play, a way for us to connect, even though we're not maybe together. And this is a beautiful way to do it via the medium that is one of the best games of all time. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, of course, universally loved by casuals in this year. I think people really love Modern Warfare, and it's proven to be a great battleground for these teams to compete for what will eventually be a beautiful trophy for the best team here out of the 32 that have entered. If you're unaware about the rules, the specifics here, of course, we're playing in a single elimination bracket. So you win the match, you go on, you lose, you're done and dusted. There are no second chances here in our tournament. Each match we played on one game mode and one game mode alone, and that game mode is going to be Search and Destroy, a staple of the Call of Duty franchise. Search and Destroy is, again, it's one of the best game modes of all time. It's an instant classic. Everybody at every single level of play knows how to play Search and Destroy. It is, I guess it's a game type that's been copied by many games to varying levels of success, and the reason for that is because the base game mode, Search and Destroy, is so successful in itself. But for those of you who maybe aren't aware what Search and Destroy is or how it works, essentially you have two sides, your offense and your defense. The offense, well, their objective is to take a bomb and plant it on one of two sites, those sites being A or B. If they can get it down and to get the bomb to go off, they win the round. The defense's job is therefore to either defend the bomb so the bomb is not planted, or defuse it if it is. Of course, both teams can win by eliminating the opposite side too, for as long as that bomb has not been planted. So that is how you play Search and Destroy. Of course, this is a round-based game mode. There are no respawns in these rounds, so if you die in a round of Search and Destroy, you've got to wait for the next round. There will be best of 11 each of these games of Search and Destroy, so first to 6 in this round-based game mode. And overall, there will be 3 maps of Search and Destroy, 3 games of S&D played in every single match here tonight, and for about the remainder of this tournament too. So there is not really a lot of room for error in between these teams. Of course, before we get into our first match of the night, before I get to run down all the matches that we actually have here in the quarterfinals, I want to tell you guys to do something. Subscribe to this channel, because when you do, you'll be notified about when we go live for the remainder of this week. Of course, tomorrow will be the semi-finals, and then on Friday, just the one championship match to decide who will be champions of the Agency Showdown. And you don't want to be miss it. You want to know when we're going to be going live, and you can do that by subscribing to the channel. And if you want to talk about any of the action that goes on tonight, you can do so with the hashtag Agency Showdown on Twitter. You tweet it. Of course, I might even see the tweets. I'll probably have a look at all the tweets about the Agency Showdown when this broadcast is up. So make sure you're discussing the action as it happens. But without any further ado, I think it's a good shout now to get into the matches that we actually have tonight on stream. So of course, the first match that we'll be having is actually going to be the Inner Circle taking on Align by EOD. That'll be followed up by Paratroopers and WQ United. To close off the night, we'll have the Off Patterns versus We Tried, followed by GSD Mania versus Blame It on the Wi-Fi. Those are the 8 teams that have made it all the way through to the quarterfinals. These teams have beaten 2 other squads to get here, and now they have to beat a third to make it into the semi-finals, and that's not out the realms of possibility. Of course, a lot of these teams have shown incredible promise. Each team, I think, has at least one standout player that maybe will carry the squad, maybe will go off great performances. And as I've said before, and I will point out those key players as we get through each match. These players have blown me away with some of the strategies, some of the play that they've come out with. So I'm very impressed with everybody who has participated in this tournament thus far. Without any further ado, though, let's talk about match number 1, the Inner Circle versus Aligned by EOD. So if you aren't aware, you haven't followed this tournament so far, the Inner Circle started their campaign in round number 1. They ended up taking T-Bell Bros to a map number 3 before finishing it off there. And in round number 2, on Monday, we actually had them take on Flicker, and they won that one 2-0. So the Inner Circle, they've only lost 1 map so far out of the 5 they have played. Aligned by EOD, on the other hand, quite similar story. They actually 2-0'd their round number 1 matchup against JHL 2020, but they didn't have as easy of a go at it against Wreck-It in round number 2. There, they were forced into a map number 3, and the map they actually lost, map number 2, it was a blowout. Like, Wreck-It destroyed them. So it definitely does show that Aligned by EOD can bleed here, and maybe that is something to look for if you're an Inner Circle fan. For me, as I always do, though, I'll be taking a look at the players, the MVPs that I want to be looking out for in these 2 sides. For me, in this particular scenario, I'll be looking at Olscriv for the Inner Circle and once again El Conquistador for Aligned by EODs. These 2 players have impressed me. 2 of, in my opinion, the best players on the field across the entirety of our 32 teams here, and that is saying something. So, again, these are going to be the 2 players to look out for in tonight's matchups. Trust me, they have proven themselves quite worthy of the MVP title. Hey, maybe, I don't know if we have an MVP throughout the entirety of the tournament, but if we do, I'm sure that these guys are already looking like early candidates for it. If we don't, I'll give an unofficial MVP to those guys if it does come to their team being the one that ends up winning. For now, though, we're going to be getting into the match. I feel map number 1 is about to get underway. It's going to be Crash. Now, if you're unfamiliar of Crash, well, first of all, you may not have played Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare because that's actually the original place where Crash was first appeared all the way back in 2007. Crash was one of the launch maps for Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and it's been a staple of the Call of Duty franchise, at least in Infinity Ward games, ever since. I think it's appeared in like 4 or 5 different games. Of course, the remaster of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, it's in Call of Duty Mobile, and of course now it's in this reboot of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare franchise. It is a very entertaining map, and I'm very excited to see how it gets underway. One thing I will say is this map's kind of one-sided in a sense. So generally speaking, you do not see teams going towards B. The reason for that, of course, is because B is right next to the spawn of, in this case, the Inner Circle, or the defense. Get right into the action here, guys. It's going to be Aligned by EOD taking on the Inner Circle. Aligned by EOD are going to start on the offense. And again, for those of you who are uninitiated here in the chat, Aligned by EOD will stay on this side for 3 rounds straight. Oh my god, Valerian the Dread with the RPG takes down Jib from long range. Elsewhere, Sploder's already fallen to Valerian. Sorry. Oscar has already fallen to Splode, I should say. Valerian looking for a second from far out. And this long range of sight is actually quite useful. Valerian has recognized that it could be very, very useful. Now El Conquistador left up in a 1 versus 1. Valerian going to close it out from a long range of sight. I really like that from Valerian, not to just move in, to just wait with the M4. You know, he knows that he has a good line of sight on the bomb site from the mid-map. Doesn't want to push anything. And that's the right call to make. So brilliantly played there from Valerian. So they're going to start this round very strongly. The Inner Circle now 1-0 up in this one on the defense. Great defensive play. Now let's see what they can do. And I like this. A lot more proactive defensive play here from the Inner Circle as they make their way straight towards A. Oscar for the 725 at its hand, which has proven very proficient as a weapon of use for a number of teams across this tournament thus far. And while the Inner Circle do have control of A, they have actually lost that first blood. Vultures is down. Splodies in the 725 to take down Valerian. And now, hey-ho, here we are. A 1 versus 3 for Olscriv. That's what they have to pull off to win this round. And unfortunately for Olscriv, while they do have control of A, that's not where the bomb is going, buddy. Jib, with the bomb in hand, is about to plant it over at B. Sooner or later, Olscriv's going to realize and will have 45 seconds to make this defuse happen. Of course, you do have to ensure you keep 5 seconds spare to get that defuse. That is how long it takes to defuse the bomb on casual settings. Olscriv up top. Nobody from Aligned by EOD has spotted this guy out just yet. Oscar now coming in from behind. Splode going to punish, and a line by EOD will tie this one up. And I really love the proactive plays there from a line by EOD. They're not content with winning those first few gunfights over towards A. They smartly rotate the bomb over towards the B site. They know they have a free plant, and it really does leave Allscriv in a terrible position where not only do they have to make a 1v3 happen, but they have to rotate the map in doing so. It really puts them hot on their heels. Now we're in the third and final round here for a line by AD on the offense. Let's see what they can do with it. Of course, bomb in hand for Jib. And immediately, you'd think that they were maybe angling for a B push. You're going to have to get through Balerion, who has been a brick wall so far in this tournament. A lovely place, Semtex, though, from Jib is going to trade out the kill. So now Balerion and Splode down for the inner circle and a line by EAD respectively. We're now in a 2 versus 2, and a line by EAD still angling for this B push. Have to take out Voltage in behind. Jib has activated Dead Silence, though, to make their move forward. Voltage taking down El Conquistador. Jib now in a 1 versus 2. Gets the first kill. Second right in front. Goes for Allscriv. The drop shot is made, but Allscriv wins the one-on-one, and the inner circle will finish round number 3 with a win. Allscriv wins a crucial one-on-one engagement. And at this point in time, I'm already starting to see just how close these teams are in terms of skill level. But it is the inner circle right now who are better off, but we are going to switch sides. It will be the inner circle now making their moves on the offense. Voltage is going to let Allscriv pick up this bomb. I do like this from Voltage, even though technically speaking they wouldn't see anyone just yet. That sniper rifle play down the alley is going to provide some crucial cover for all the inner circle. But the inner circle, they're already preoccupied with taking this A bomb site. Allscriv with the bomb in hand loses their teammate in the form of Balerion, and now Allscriv all on their lonesome over towards A. Has to be very careful about Splode's positioning just outside this door. Splode pushes in. Allscriv going to turn around at the complete wrong time. Surely not on a 725, but Splode is just better with that 725, more accurate onto Allscriv, and now it is Voltage left up in a 1 versus 3, and for all the reserved play that Voltage was pulling off in the early round, it's now really come back to bite them in the bum, because you're in a 1 versus 2. You're about as far from the bomb as you could possibly get. You do not have the weaponry to assault this bomb site, especially when Splode has the 725, which is just a better weapon. And there you go. You're going to see it. Splode with the 725 on the stairs takes out the last remaining player. And we have a 2-2 situation, folks. Splode, beautiful with that 725. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of players in this tournament that love that stumpy variant of the 725. I believe the latest update actually added to Modern Warfare today, you can actually now combine weapon variants in the gunsmith. So we'll be seeing some nice variant combinations today, I presume, if players are going to have used that gunsmith. Now, though, stun thrown out from Allscriv. And this is a nice proactive play from Allscriv. Once again, you need to win those fights, and it does come down to the one-on-one between Allscriv and Splode. This time around, the inner circle player is actually going to win that fight. Jib now trying to make their way onto the side, but it is once again Allscriv, the player over there. And you have to feel somewhat that the inner circle, they need to support their players better. Yes, all right, nice. You want to have a player covering the mid-map. You want to get some more map control. But if you don't have any control over the site, what's the point? You need to get the bomb down at the end of the day. But Allscriv still looking to force the situation, does so against Jib. A beautiful second kill in this round. And now it's down to a 1 versus 2 for El Conquistador, who has already picked up 1 kill hit from the mid-map. Would be therefore looking for an ace in this round. And if you don't know what I mean by an ace, it is essentially you pick up every single kill available to you in any given round. El Conquistador was responsible for the death of Voltage. Might be responsible for Balerion, the Dread's death as well, and is spots Allscriv up top, but just doesn't have the facilities to take that fight. And instead, it will actually be Allscriv walking away from this round with an ace. MP5 kill to close the round. And again, that MP5, so deadly. There is a reason that right now it is the professional player's favorite gun, because it is so darn powerful. Now, though, the inner circle have a 3-2 advantage here in Search and Destroy. A line by EOD. looking to play very aggressively on the defense. Valerian going to stim themselves after getting shot up early on in the round. And we already have a trade, ladies and gents, as Voltage takes down Jib. Slowly responds to the kill onto Ulscriv. El Conquistadoro takes down Voltage, and now it's Valerian in a 1 versus 2. Has the semi-auto shotgun in hand. Of course, the M4A1 as a result of Overkill 2, but El Conquistadoro challenges for the fight, and lined by EOD are going to tie this one up at 2 for 2. Brilliant aggression from El Conquistador here. Now aligned by EOD. Going to switch sides once again. They are now responsible for playing offense in this round, and we're in a very close search and destroy here, folks. 3 to 3 in round count. Who will pull away? That is the question. Well, El Conquistador picked up first blood against Valerian the Dread, and that now opens up potential push down the alleyway. Of course, they do still have to deal with Voltage, and they will. El Conquistador picks up a second kill in the round, and now it's down to Ulscriv in a 1 versus 3. MP5 in hand, but does have one advantage that aligned by ED aren't aware of. It's called a flank, ladies and gents. Ulscriv picks up the first kill, denies an ace for El Conquistador in this round. But still a 1 versus 2 to pull off. Has at the very least left aligned by ED quaking in their boots. Jib going to get that plant down. And now we'll reduce the timer down to just 45 seconds. That's how much time Ulscriv has to jump on this bomb, looking for their second ace in this game, getting it shot up from Splode up top. Now Jib and Splode know where Ulscriv is, and that makes this 1 versus 2 infinitely harder because Ulscriv no longer has the element of surprise. Going to go for the pre-aim, but Splode is just a little bit better in that one-on-one engagement, as aligned by EOD put their noses in front here, and they will take the lead on Crash. Splode going to take that final kill with the M4 again. Classic Call of Duty League meta coming out to play. And again, I love that at this point in the competition, the only variations we're really seeing are the stuff that's banned in competitive. Those shotguns, for example. These guys definitely know what's up. Aligned by EOD, though. I was going to say for a second, looking for that first blood, but it is actually going to be a trade as Valerian once again with the RPG takes out Jib. El Conquistador is responsible for the death of Valerian the Dread. And now a 2 versus 2 here. The inner circle splitting up, hedging their bets. One player at A, one player at B. And that is actually the correct play, I feel, here, as aligned by OD are a little bit unsure themselves as to where to take this bomb. Explode maybe the advanced guard. The scout towards A, going to get caught out by Ulscriv. Ulscriv actually going to peek for the second as well. Luckily gets away with her life because El Conquistador almost got the better of Ulscriv in that 1 versus 1. And aligned by EOD here. Looking off the back of El Conquistador to win this 1 versus 2. And hey, would you look at this? The players I call that as the MVPs for these sides. Ulscriv versus El Conquistador. Aligned by EOD looking for a 5-3 advantage at the inner circle. Looking to tie this one up at 4 to 4. El Conquistador has utilized dead silence. He's about to run out though, but they use it long enough. Ulscriv doesn't hear it, and that's a brilliant usage of dead silence there, as aligned by EOD are just 1 round away here, folks, from taking a 1-0 series advantage on the brink of winning the first Search and Destroy versus the inner circle. Now aligned by EOD here, going to draw first blood. El Conquistador takes out Valerian, but a lovely snipe from Voltage, which the HDR takes down El Conquistador in return. So now a 2 versus 2. Jib and Splode making their way up towards the A site, but Ulscriv gets that first blood against Jib, and now it's Splode in a 1 versus 2. The 725 fight incredibly crucial. Over towards C, this heartbeat sensor can explode. Surely it should be revealed the position of Voltage 2. And if I'm Splode, I actually just grab this bomb and run over towards B. That might genuinely be the play, but I think Splode wants to take this fight with the 725 in hand. Dead silence to work with as well. Splode going to run right up the stairs. Oldscrib is there, though, laying down and say, hiya, buddy. Now you're in my line of sight. And Oldscrib wins that fight. The inner circle will live to see another round here in Search and Destroy. Great win there from Oldscrib. So Align by OD, second chance here to finish it. To finish map number 1 and take an L. Take a W, I should say. Don't take an L. They do not want to take an L, most certainly not. And Align by OD, actually, interestingly enough, actually giving up the A site. The inner circle playing this one very aggressive, but they are now sending Jib on a potential flank. Splode dies to Voltage. This bomb is going to go down, but a well-placed Semtex could take out one. Jib now going to come in, gets the kill with the MP5. Going to surely get taken out with a semi-auto from Valerian. And there it is, folks. We are seeing a round 11 Aligned by E&E make the mistake of giving up the site. And they are definitely punished for it. And again, you really can't allow that to happen. You'll have a player like Oldscrib making the best of that situation by just going up top, watching all potential lanes with the MP5. Now we have a round 11 between these two teams. Let's look at these performances as we go in these final rounds too. El Conquistador 11 and 6. Oldscrib 9 and 6. Just a little bit worse off. Unwind looking for that first spot. El Conquistador is going to find it. Valerian potentially looking for a trade. Tunnel vision from El Conquistador here, running straight for the site. Valerian surely going to be able to capitalize on this and almost does. El Conquistador just gets inside. Valerian tries to go for the stim shot. It's not going to happen. And now it's up to Oldscrib. 1 versus 3. Does get the first kill with the shotgun, but surely going to be challenged here by Splode with a 725 of their own. And Aligned by EOD are going to start this series with a 1-0 advantage. Wow. The inner circle and Aligned by EOD right off the start of this stream, folks, are giving us an incredible game. A round 11 to kick things off here in the quarterfinals, and you wouldn't have it any other way. Wow, what a performance. I mean, you look at the final scoreboard, and again, it is the MVPs on each side. I called it before this series started. 12 kills for El Conquistador, 10 for Oldscrib. And unfortunately, you're asking for a 1 versus 3 out of Oldscrib, and it doesn't happen in that final scenario, the final round of Search and Destroy play here in map number 1. But it does go the distance. It does go to around 11, and that means even with it being 1-0 up to Aligned by EOD, you absolutely cannot call how the remainder of this series is going to go. These are two incredibly well-matched sides. You can tell, and everybody is playing their part as well. As much as I'm calling out, El Conquistador and Oldscrib are playing incredibly in map number 1, the remainder of the other 4 players in this lobby are also doing just as well. They are all playing their parts and all clutching up in the situations when they are needed. So everyone could be proud of themselves at the end of the end of map number 1. Now, though, we're going to be seeing the map number 2 coming in just a moment. It's going to be Talsic Backlot, apparently, is going to be the lobby, or is going to be the map for map number 2. So let me give you a rundown of what Talsic Backlot actually is. So Talsic Backlot, just like Crash, actually. So maybe if the Inner Circle or Aligned by OD or COD 4 players, veterans of the Call of Duty scene, maybe they'll love this map selection that they've been handed, of course, because Crash was a Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare map. Backlot is actually a Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare map. So for those of you who are familiar, Backlot, again, it was one of the maps, I believe it was in the base game for Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It was an incredible map, and again, it is one of those maps that's been remastered multiple times. It is in so many titles. I believe it's in COD Mobile, which is a great game, by the way. Literally, I will say this as well. COD Mobile is just, and this isn't me advertising the game, just to clarify. COD Mobile is one of the best things about life at the moment. I could just be sitting there and like be bored out of my mind in quarantine, or I say in quarantine, it's technically lockdown because I'm not infected. But yeah, I could literally be sitting there bored out of my mind. I think, you know what I'll do? I'll play a couple of games of COD Mobile. I think we're on like season 5 now as well. So like the amount of content that both Modern Warfare and COD Mobile are getting simultaneously is incredible. And for all Call of Duty fans at the moment, this is just an insane time. You know, we've got everything going on, despite the fact that we're online now. You know, this tournament alone proves that there is a massive interest in just playing Call of Duty. So that's kind of what COD Mobile looks like right now. And again, you can actually play Tausig Backlot, I believe, or at least a variation of Backlot in the game itself. And of course, you can play it in Modern Warfare, actually added with this update with Season 3. So yeah, get your bums on Call of Duty Modern Warfare because there's some good maps available in the game right now. But as I was saying, I believe that Tausig Backlot is the map number 2 for this series. And again, if you are a fan of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, you absolutely love the map set that's come so far. Of course, we've gone from Crash now to what will be Tausig Backlot for map number 2. These two sides, you got to remember, folks, again, they are so well matched. And just to give you guys an idea of just how well matched they are, again, both teams, statistically speaking, up until this series, I will say, we're not including map number 1 in this stat, have won 4 maps and lost 1. So they have shown that they can bleed, and in quite emphatic fashion as well, right? In Line by AD, they lost to Wreck-It on, I believe it was Remarks to Search and Destroy, like 6-2, 6-3 or something. It was stupid how badly they lost. Like they fumbled really badly in that map number 2. And similarly, actually, if you cast your mind back to week number 1, where the Inner Circle played the T-Bell Bros, the Inner Circle lost their map number 2 very badly. Like their players just didn't turn up. So there is absolutely the situation here where one of these two teams just doesn't have a good game. And actually, as much as I said that there is more to this than just El Conquistador and Ulscriv. If you again cast your mind back to that map number 2 between the Inner Circle and T-Bell Bros, Ulscriv didn't turn up. They lost the map, and that to me could be the real difference here. You need a good performance out of Ulscriv and El Conquistador. If you don't have one, you might not get the map win. But as it currently stands, aligned by EOD, 1-0 up in the Search and Destroy. We're about to go into Tausig Backlot to potentially decide this series. And what a series it has already been. We are just one map in to the quarterfinals here in the Activision Blizzard Media Agency Showdown. And it's been a great tournament so far. And I feel like for this to be the end of the line for some of these teams today, I think it's really going to hit me where it hurts. So again, I'm quite proud of the progress that some of these teams have absolutely made as well. Right from the off, you can kind of tell that a few of these names are extremely talented. And aligned by AD and the Inner Circle, 2 of those teams, they've been very good throughout the entirety of the tournament. And to lose one of them here will be sad, but lose one of them we will. As we jump into Tausig Backlot, folks, it will once again be the Inner Circle starting off on offense. Ulscriv with the bomb in hand, straight towards A, which is the preferred site on this map. But aligned by EOD, they are ready for it. They're pushed just as aggressively towards the site, but Ulscriv picks up first blood against Jib. El Conquistador is going to trade off against Voltage. Ulscriv, though, smells blood in the water, looks for that second kill, and will find it. Splode falls elsewhere too, and the Inner Circle will take round number 1, a very aggressive push towards the site. And I do like how proactive aligned by EOD were to just jump straight on for the defense. But unfortunately, you just don't win the one-on-one engagements. You lose the round. And it will therefore be the Inner Circle starting things strong here on Tausig Backlot. Move into round number 2. And now aligned by EOD once again. Straight towards A, and this time they're going to draw first blood. El Conquistador is going to catch Ulscriv off guard, who thinks that they've actually got the number of the Inner Circle. That is by far and away not the case. El Conquistador picks up the second kill as well, and Splode to finish it off with the 725. And just as quickly as the Inner Circle take round number 1, aligned by EOD are going to find a response in the second round here. You're going to see Voltage flick around the corner. Splode with the 725 takes those kills all day and every day. Now aligned by EOD here on the defense. Can they draw first blood? Yes, they will. El Conquistador picks up Voltage, looking for a second. May just find it on the flank as Balerion, I feel, is not ready for it. El Conquistador is playing this so proactively. Will fall to Allscrib, but is there a trade? Yes, there is, I believe. That final kill is actually going to go the way of Jib with the MP5 in hand, and it will. But I love that aggression once again from a line by EOD, and it is going to be El Conquistador, the proprietor of such aggression. Straight away picks up that first blood. Balerion isn't even ready for the second fight. Now aligned by AD though, 2-1 up here in the search and destroy. The inner circle looking to put this one at 2-2. Might not happen though, as Allscrib falls in the early round, and now it's up to Voltage and Balerion the Dread. A sniper from Voltage in the mid-map is really going to put down some serious cover fire on construction, but eventually Voltage is going to have to move out of that power position because now bomb is down, and that means there needs to be a defuse coming out here from the inner circle. Explode up top, going to walk away from that sniper battle. Now Voltage has actually been forced out of it entirely. Of course, I believe Voltage, if they're smart, will have overkill. Yes, they will. And now it's down to Jib in a 1 versus 2. 725 and MP5 in hand. Ready for the first shot. Gets it against Voltage. Tagged is, though, Jib. Gonna even challenge for the second kill. Jib's a madman, but he's gonna surely look for the kill. Balerion is gonna fall as well. And Jib just somehow concocts up a 1 versus 2 in perfect sync. What on earth was that? Jeez Louise. Jib finds a 1 versus 2, and I'm just loving the level of play that the inner circle and aligned by EOD are bringing up here. Feel like I'm watching some Call of Duty League action right now. If you guys want to watch some Call of Duty League action, you can do so. youtube.com/COD League. Catch all of the action from the professional franchise league for Call of Duty. I feel like those players may be a little bit better than what's being showcased here. But still, you get the feeling the same kind of stakes. Aligned by EOD are fighting tooth and nail to wipe out the inner circle here on Tausig backlot. They've already got 1 man to their name. But the inner circle still has some fight left in them. Voltage has to perform a 1 versus 3. Has already got the first kill. Looks for the second. Explode up close, says hi. Alright, before they say bye. And again, the 725 is just so rough. Oh my god. Okay, well, we'll act like those shots actually hit. There's a line by AD now, 4-1 up in the search and destroy. The inner circle happened well and truly run over. They need to get something going their way right now, and this could be the round in which they do. Allscrib draws first blood, draws the second as well. Explode is down, and immediately El Conquistador finds themselves in a 1 versus 3, last alive. And with a lot of time to work with, it doesn't matter. The inner circle are going to be able to take round number 6. There is some salvation in this round. Balerion takes the head off of Voltage to close it out. Or, sorry, off of that El Conquistador. If he takes the head off of Voltage, that's a teammate. Don't want to be doing that, Balerion. Yet still, it is going to be aligned by EOD here. 4-2 up in the search and destroy. They still hold their advantage as we switch sides once again. We'll be back to the inner circle on offense. Nobody's gone B so far. That's quite an interesting affair, I will say. And as I say it, the inner circle now angling for a B push. Explode is ready for said push. El Conquistador is playing rather pensively close by too. And here comes a streak from Jib, who has earned them. The cruise missile takes down Balerion. Aligned by AD now in a 3 versus 2. Make that a 3 versus 1. Allscrib now left up here. And they pull off a 1 versus 3. Let's get the first kill, but of course this happened in the prior round where Allscrib was in a 1 versus 3. They got 1 kill, then fell. So let's not get up ahead of ourselves just yet. This second will be a real test. Slow, gonna turn around and say, hey, hang on. I ain't letting you get away. Have a look at down the barrel of my 725. There's a slug right there with your name on it. Explode going to close out the round. And aligned by EOD, now just one round away, folks, from taking this series and moving on to the semi-finals. Can the Inner Circle pull off a perfect search and destroy to survive? Ulstrip, Voltage, and Valyrian, everybody needs to go off here. We need to see a great performance out of the Inner Circle. And now here comes that first one-on-one. Jib wins it against Ulstrip with his semi-auto shotgun. El Conquest Zero is going to follow up with a kill onto Voltage. And it now falls at the feet of Valyrian the Dread to pull off a 1 versus 3. Has already been tagged. Hasn't even used their stim shot. Don't know why. And to be fair, aligned by ED, give him a little bit of space to move before squashing them under their feet. And just like that, ladies and gents, aligned by EOD will be the first team into the semi-finals of the Agency Showdown, sorry. And again, beautiful plays all around. That time, I will say, for all of the gas I've been given El Conquistador, Jib went off in that game, ended up with 7 kills to their 2 deaths. Their cruise missile, of course, towards the latter half of the game, and the portable radar helped win rounds number 7 and 8. So congratulations to Aligned by EOD. They're going to be the first team moving on to the semi-finals of the Activision Blizzard Media Agency Showdown. So congratulations to them. Very well played. A close map number 1, second map not even close whatsoever. And that means commiserations to the Inner Circle. They are done and dusted in the quarterfinals here of the Agency Showdown. It was an incredible performance from them. And honestly, if I walk away with a top 8, yeah, all right, I'm a little bit sad because of the way that maybe certain members on that squad performed, because they performed incredibly well. But still, top 8 coming out of what was a 32-team tournament here in a single elimination bracket, that is not a bad placement whatsoever. And they should walk away with their heads held high as they are going to finish in the final 8. That being said, again, congratulations to Aligned by Edu. They will be moving on as the first team from tonight's quarterfinals into the semi-finals. But as that implies, we do have some more quarterfinals to show you guys tonight. Our second match of the night, Paratroopers versus WK United, is next up. One of those teams will be joining Aligned by EOD in the semi-finals. You do not want to miss that match. Don't go anywhere, though. We're going to go to a quick break. Hey everybody, welcome back to Activision Blizzard Media's first esports tournament, the Agency Showdown. If you are just joining us here, we're in the middle of the quarterfinals. The second match is about ready to get underway between Paratroopers and WQ United. But before we get into the match, I think now is as good a time as any to take a look at the schedule for today. So of course, if you guys again, if you're just joining us, you missed the first match. The Inner Circle fell to a line by EOD in rather tumultuous fashion. Of course, the Inner Circle already took that first map. I mean, it was very close, right? Very, very close. But a line by EOD came out on top in round 11 versus the Inner Circle. And to be honest, after that, I thought, we're in for a very long series here. I thought it was going to go all the distance, possibly all the way to map 3, all the way to round 11. That's not actually how it turned out whatsoever. A line by EOD came out swinging on Tausig backlot. They were able to take that 6-2. They ended up winning the series 2-0. And now, of course, that means we're here for our second match now, Paratroopers versus WQ United. And of course, after this, we will have the Off Patterns versus You and We Tried and GSD Mania versus Blame It on the Wi-Fi for the final 2 spots in the semi-finals. For now, though, let's take a focus on our second match. It is going to be Paratroopers versus WQ United. These two sides have had a breeze, I think it's fair to say, through the first 2 rounds of play. Both teams have gone without dropping a map so far in this tournament. Paratroopers started off 2-0 versus the Australian Country Ducks in round number 1, and then took on Cloud of Duty yesterday and took them down 2-0 as well. WQ United, on the other hand, I think this is the team to watch. I think a lot of people will be agreeing with me as well. They are an incredible force. They have dropped, I think, a total of like 2 maps across their play so far, or 2 rounds of search and destroy shots, sorry, across their play so far. They 2-0'd the hashtag Gulag guys in round number 1, and they 2-0'd the Golden Geese yesterday in round number 2. So this is going to be an incredibly close affair between these two sides. Again, I'll do what I always do, which is talk about the MVP so far for these two sides. For me, if you're looking at Paratroopers, I'd say Dozy Dan is by far and away the best player on that team, but do not be fooled. Infinite Insight and Wolfman can turn up at any point, and that's one of the nice things about this Paratroopers roster. I think all of the players, unlike I think a number of rosters maybe in this tournament, all of the players have the opportunity, I think, to turn up at any moment and perform out of their minds. Similarly, actually, on WQ United, I you know, again, just as I did when it came into round number 2, I was kind of struggling to pick the MVP so far between Ondig and Dolphin Clues. Those 2 players for WQ United have been insane and have been incredibly integral to this lineup's movement so far through the bracket. That being said, they could be about to hit a brick wall when they face Paratroopers in this quarter-final. Just to give you a rundown of what the maps will look like in this series, we'll have Gunrunner, followed by St. Petrograd, and the third map is yet to be decided, of course, depending on whether or not it does actually go the distance. But those at least are going to be the maps that we are going to see here, and we're going to be kicking things off with Gunrunner. Now, Gunrunner, of course, for those of you who do not know, do know, I suppose, who do watch the Call of Duty League, this will be a map very familiar with you. It is in the competitive rotation of this Call of Duty Modern Warfare season. And for that reason alone, it is just an incredible map, right? I mean, in my opinion, it's probably the best map that is in this game right now, maybe tied alongside Ramaza. And it plays very, very well. It has a nice mix of close quarter combat as well as long lines of sight for maybe the ARs or sniper rifles to see some play. In relation to Search and Destroy specifically, which is, of course, the game mode we're going to be playing across the entirety of this Agency Showdown, there's kind of like a bias here towards one of the bomb sites. Generally speaking, teams will be moving towards B pretty much every single round. That being said, of course, this is more of a casual setting than what you would normally see in a Call of Duty League, and therefore the A site sees a little bit more play. But I'm interested to see, of course, as we go further on in this tournament, whether or not that changes as the teams get a little bit better in each round. We'll see now whether or not B will become the main site for attack. Right now, Paratroopers are proving that to be the case. They're moving straight towards the B site. WQ United have done a great job, though, on the defense to defend it for now. Dolphin Clue is going to fall as the first blood goes the way of Dozy Dan. A great trade from Ondig, though, takes out Infinite Insight. And now it is a 2 versus 2 here. Wolfman and Dozy Dan going head-to-head with Not Harry's and Ondig. Not Harry's now. Getting right in the face of Wolfman. Wolfman puts the shots in. Elsewhere, Ondig takes down Dozy Dan, though, and that's going to leave Wolfman in a rather precarious spot here. Stuck between 2 players from WQ United. A stun goes out. Wolfman puts those shots in. Now surely going to get taken out from behind, and that will be the case as WQ United strike first here on Gunrunner, Search and Destroy. A great defensive hold, and I really do like that actually from the Paratroopers right off the start. They run straight towards B, but unfortunately the push falls apart before it can really gain any traction. Now we move into round number 2. Once again, of course, for those of you guys unfamiliar with the casual Call of Duty settings we're working with here in this tournament, every 3 rounds is when these guys will be switching sides. So WQ United get another turn at the bat for a defense, and right off the bat, well, it is a 2 versus 2. Infinite Insight takes down Not Harry's. Dolphin Clues responds with the kill onto Dozy Dan. So now Paratroopers still working towards this B site. Wolfman has activated that Dead Silence. Hasn't used it very well, to be honest. Normally, if you activate Dead Silence, it is to make a move right into a fight. Wolfman's just spotted out. One Deegan gets that kill, leaves Dolphin Clues now to 1 versus 2. Throws out a Semtex, potentially at the wrong time. A stun goes their way. Dolphin Clues actually going to tag that player in the mid-map, but it's not going to matter. Paratroopers are going to tie this one up at 1-1 after a great Search and Destroy round. You're going to see Infinite Insight with his final kill onto Dolphin Clues. Well, Paratroopers now have tied this one up, but it's their final offensive round. And once again, they're going straight towards B. I need to see something a little bit more aggressive out of them, though, if they want to get this bomb down. Wolfman is going to be the first player forward. Now, generally speaking, you don't actually want to have the bomb carrier being the first player up to attack, because that can happen. Dolphin Clues going to have that drone bopped in the mid-map, looking for the second kill as well. Unfortunately for Dolphin Clues, Dozy down a little bit more ready for that fight. Not Dozy at all. Well awake for that engagement. Now a 2 versus 2 here. I think Dozy down might just be caught out by 1 Deeg, and they will. And now it's down to Infinite Insight here in a 1 versus 2. How much Infinite Insight does Infinite Insight really have? Enough to rotate over towards A. That's certainly the case. Has to be very careful with the noise that they're making, but Dead Silence has been earned and is utilized right away. And of course, for those of you unfamiliar what Dead Silence actually does, it makes your footsteps entirely silent. Oh my god, Infinite Insight just sees death right in front of him. That Claymore will go off. A second one actually will go off, and that will alert WQ United to this rotation from Infinite Insight. It was only a matter of seconds before WQ United complete their rotation towards the site. They catch Insight off the bomb, and we will see a defuse here from Not Harry's. As the end of the first 3 rounds, WQ United hold a 2-1 advantage. Well, WQ United now 2-1 up in this Search and Destroy. Paratroopers now look to even the odds here. But once again, and this is what I was saying, guys. I was saying now that as we get later on in this tournament, you're going to start to see teams prefer the B site, and that is what has happened every 3 rounds so far. Every time the Paratroopers were on the offense, they tried to make B work before rotating over towards A. That's the correct way to play Gunrunner, Search and Destroy. It's the way that the professionals in the Call of Duty League play it. And that's what WQ United are doing right now. They make their way over towards B. Getting the bomb down. Now 40 seconds here for Paratroopers to react. It's quite a slow reaction initially. Dolphin Clues going to be able to get away from the site unscathed. Not Harry's and 1 Deeg win their respective 1-on-1s, and now it's straight away down to Dozy Dan in a 1 versus 3. Does have a good weapon to work with here. That MV pipe is pretty nice. But still, Not a lot of time to work with. 15 seconds. You kind of need to make something happen now. You need to force the issue, and there it is, forcing the issue. Dozy Dan puts it down to a one-on-one engagement versus Dolphin Clues. Has to save some time for the defuse, though, and I'm afraid that this 1v1 matters no more. Dozy Dan doesn't even have enough time to get the defuse. They will get the kill. Runs towards the bomb. Almost gets taken out by the explosion, but will live to see round number 5. Now WQ United 3-1 up here against Paratroopers. Paratroopers looking the best right now. Not Harry's going to fall early on in this round though. Wolfman going to be responsible for that. Dolphin Clues with the role play. Semtex going to respond. Dozy Dan straight back at you. Dolphin Clues now out of the round. And it's down to 1D without their signature weapon. M4A1 in hand. What can they do here in a 1 versus 2? Not very much, apparently. A killing spree coming from that last player on the Paratroopers. A 5 spree, I believe that is, for Dozy Dan. As they will take their second round here, Paratroopers, and take that one nicely. And WQ United 3-2 up in the search and destroy, looking to extend their advantage in their final offensive run. Bomb is aiming towards A. Now, normally you do this to maybe throw a team off guard. This time around, though, I feel like Paratroopers have a lovely response in the form of a cruise missile. It lands and it picks up not Harry's and Dolphin Clues. Very well played. Now it's down to 1D in a 1 versus 3. What can 1D do? Does have the element of surprise still. Paratroopers have no idea whatsoever where 1D is on the minimap, but as soon as he makes this first kill, well, if they make this first kill, they'll be well aware of where 1D is. Slowly but surely making their way up through the trench. Might get a bit unlucky here as they turn this corner. Has to keep an eye out for Infinite Insight. Does, but Wolfman is there as well, and a great 2-piece from Dozy Dan is going to kick off the round. Either Wolfman or Insight here. Don't know which one actually finishes it. It is going to be Insight. Folks, 3-3 now in this game. Whew, getting flashbacks to that first series between the Inner Circle and Aligned by UD. If you remember how close that crash in map number 1 was. Now, though, we're in our third set of Search and Destroy rounds as these teams switch once again. It will be Paratroopers here for 3 rounds straight on the offense. Dozy Dan is going to fall. Not Harry's going to be responsible for that one. Now Paratroopers with a disadvantage in this round. Be looking to move this bomb still towards A, but might have to find, I feel, a new advantage. The dual 357s in hand for Wolfman. This is a strategy. Trust me, people here who love Warzone maybe don't like these so much. I think it's that's probably the best way to put it. Oh, Wolfman spots out that Claymore. Gonna walk away from that fight. Don't really want to deal with that Claymore, says Wolfman. But I feel at this point for the Paratroopers, they kind of need to play a guerrilla warfare in a way. Take down WQ United 1 by 1, pick them off from afar, and maybe that's what's going to happen here as Infinite Insight deals with Dolphin Clues. Once where Paratroopers have opened up an opportunity to plant the bomb onto A. And my question is, as soon as this bomb goes down, how quickly does WQ United react? Because, whether they realise it or not, they have lost complete control of this A site. Now 1D and not Harry is going to have to regain it. How do they approach this? Well, you're going to have to be very wary because Infinite Insight is pre-aiming. Oh, no. Infinite Insight. Call of Duty timing. Surely. No, no. I feel so bad for Infinite Insight watching that. There's now Wolfman in a 1 versus 2 has to defend this site. 1D makes the kill happen. And it will be a beautiful retake from WQ United here. Paratroopers are giving them a game. Soulful Wanderer from 1D. That's a variant I haven't actually seen before in this game, but it is going to be an M4A1 variant. Tagged with a lot of Atlanta Phase stickers and the Atlanta Phase tag, or the Atlanta Phase camo, I should say. Not the right camo to have, I will stress. If you're not a Royal Ravens fan, I mean, you're probably not from the UK, to be honest. That might be why, but also you're doing it wrong. You're doing the whole Call of Duty League thing wrong. That being said, Paratroopers in a 2 versus 3 right now. Wolfman and Infinite Insight here. Left up once again with a disadvantage. Their best player is out of the round. WK United looking to make it a 3 versus 1, and they do. Dorflin Clues picks off Wolfman. And now it's left up to Infinite Insight. Has been spotted out. A drop shot coming in from Watt Harry's, but it's not going to matter. Paratroopers going to lose the round regardless. And WK United now find themselves 5-3 up in this search and destroy on match point. Looking to take a 1-0 series advantage. WQ United now just 1 round away. Can they close out this first search and destroy game? That really is the question. Dorfin Clue's going to throw a Semtex out. Not really going to land, but it will at least push Wolfman away from that line of sight. And you can kind of see right now, if you look at the minimap, Paratroopers not convinced that they can make this push towards B just yet. You're going to see a drone coming out from, I believe, that was going to be Infinite Insight using that. Tags a couple of players up, give Paratroopers a little bit of information, but that information is not what you need. You need to win these one-on-one engagements. Infinite Insight does survive his with 1D, but not for long. 1D comes back. Well, like I'm watching a Final Destination movie. 1D is death, coming for those kills. Now Dorfin Clues left up in a 1 versus 2 hit. Let's get the 1. Now a 1 versus 1. Dorfin Clues versus Dozy Dan. Dozy Dan trying to save, and no! Dorfin Clues picks up some beautiful shots to close out the round. And oh my word, I thought for a second that Dozy Dan was going to win that 1-on-1 and keep Paratroopers in this search and destroy. But that's not what happens, folks. That's not how this one plays out. And WK United will be walking away with map number 1, 6-3. And a great performance all around. Nobody, not one player standing out among WK United. Everyone is playing their part in game number 1. It will go their way 6-3. What a performance there from WK United. You can just see the way they played was so good. I feel, again, a little bit for Dozy Dan, and this kind of is the story for me, right? For Paratroopers. You know, Paratroopers as a side, their entire story, for me at least, has been Dozy Dan plays very well, and then on the games where maybe Wolfman and Infinite Insight don't pick up the kills, don't, you know, play at the same pace as Dozy Dan, things don't go necessarily all that well for Paratroopers. They'll still win, as they have won every single map so far, but it will be a closer affair than maybe it otherwise would be. In this case, it has actually equated to a map loss, and now, of course, WK United handing Paratroopers that very first map loss in the tournament thus far. We shall see whether or not Paratroopers are able to recover. Of course, this is a best of 3 at the end of the day. It's not all doom and gloom. They're not done just yet, but they do need a flawless search and destroy performance out of the remainder of this series. Again, it is just a best of 3, and that means WK United are 1 search and destroy victory away from moving on to the semi-finals, joining a line by EUD who'll wait them there. Now, though, I believe our second map is underway, or it's going to be underway any second now. St. Petrograd is going to be the map. Yet another Call of Duty League map. Again, for those of you who are familiar with the COD League, with the franchise league that Activision has brought in this year for the wonderful Call of Duty esports. St. Petrograd is a map that we see very often. We see it in Hardpoint, we see it in Search and Destroy, and we see it in Domination. It's one of the game modes, or one of the maps that's in all 3 competitive game modes in this year's Call of Duty League. For that reason alone, it is, of course, it's a great map, right? We do love playing St. Petrograd. In my opinion, it plays best. I wouldn't say domination, I'd say in hardpoint. Hardpoint is where St. Petrograd actually plays the best, but it does play very, very well in search and destroy. And again, I think it actually becomes a little bit more relevant here in terms of maybe the strategies that you'd see in the Call of Duty League, because quite clearly these teams are now starting to apply those strategies. And when you're talking about St. Petrograd, again, it is actually going to be the A site that is preferred between these two sides. So generally speaking, what you'd see here in a competitive match, at the very least, is both sides, offense and defense, making their way towards a butting heads, and basically whoever wins that engagement will have control over the A site, and then it becomes a sort of, I guess, an idea for the offensive team. If they do not get control of A, they have to rotate over to B. If they get control of A, then it's a case for the defensive team to try and retake through apartments or through the lower arches. So that's what's on the cards here. Expect that to happen very often. And again, with the way that WQ United and Paratroopers were both playing, Gunrunner, I kind of expect that to be the case again here, because we're seeing Call of Duty League camos at the very least. So these guys are at least aware of what's going on in the Call of Duty League, and they are watching it on the regular basis. And why wouldn't you? I think that's a good point to make. Why wouldn't you be watching the Call of Duty League? If you're not, now is as good a time as any. There's a consistent stream of competitive Call of Duty content coming up every single weekend directly from Activision, of course. So if you watch any of that, if you want to watch any Call of Duty action, your next chance to do so is actually going to be this Sunday. You can catch the finals of the Challengers Cup in Asia Pacific, Europe, and North America. That's going to be on Sunday on the Call of Duty YouTube. So make sure you watch some of that, because if you're ever interested in making that next step from casual Call of Duty player to making that step up, and to maybe you want to play some competitive Call of Duty, that's the best place to start. Now, though, we're riding with map number 2, folks, between Paratroopers and WQ United. And, well, I was talking about the COD League. Dozy Dan has already fallen out of this round. Paratroopers on the offense once again. Down to Wolfman and Insight. Now just Wolfman left up in a 1 versus 3. And this is what I was saying. Again, those first fights are so crucial, because WQ United have garnered control over the A site. Paratroopers now do not have control and have to try and regain it. It's still on the cards, though, for Wolfman, who has those dual 357s in hands. Gets the first kill, looking for the 1 versus 3. I think, oh no, surely not. Has actually outplayed. Oh my goodness, it's a 1 versus 3 for Wolfman. Outplays One Deep there with the dual 357s. And hey, who would have thought the Achilles heel of a player named One Deep would actually be a 357? Paratroopers is going to start that one strong, and that's going to give Wolfman an incredible mental boost, you feel. A 1 versus 3. Their best moment in the tournament thus far, and I'm hoping that Wolfman gets that clipped after this one. Don't worry, Wolfman. These VODs will be available once this broadcast ends, and I'm sure they'll definitely go back and record that. Alas, WQ United hit. On defense once again. They're dealing with a more reserved push here from Paratroopers. They do draw first blood as well. Infinite Insight now has fallen, and that leaves the bomb in a rather precarious position. I'm kind of curious as to why Dozy Dan and Wolfman allowed Infinite Insight to just wander off with the bomb in that manner, because it leaves them in now a position where they have to go retrieve this bomb. It's right in the hornet's nest that is the A site. And instead now maybe Wolfman and Dozy Dan angle for a win by elimination. It would require yet another 1 versus 3 hit by Wolfman, and it is still possible. Gets the 4th kill with the C4. A lovely place C4 as well. Straight to the line of sight of Not Harry's, though. And the hopes and dreams of a 1 versus 3. A second consecutive 1 versus 3 here from Wolfman. Crushed by Not Harry's, who pre-aims with the purest variant of the M4A1. Now, 1-1 in this game between these two sides. Once again, it is Paratroopers. Only one player on that side has got kills so far in the first 2 rounds. That's Wolfman, who is having an incredible start to this game, yet still could not pull off that second 1 versus 3. How the WQ United react in this round? But it will be a B push. Not Harry's is the sole defender of B as it currently stands. Might be receiving some backup very soon from Dorf and Cluse, who's now made their way onto the B site. Dozy Dan looking for the entry any second now. Has actually made their way up top for some control of the hazmat building. And could get the jump onto Dorf and Cluse. And it's just funny how close Dozy Dan and Dorf and Cluse actually are to each other without realising it. Well, Harry's though going to pick up first blood. One Deke wins their one-on-one engagement versus Wolfman, and now it's left up to Dozy Dan here. Now 1 versus 3, top hazmat building. Just pre-aiming these windows. They know where he is, and WK United eliminate the Paratroopers in that round. One Deke spots out Dozy Dan up top on the window. Snaps on for the final kill. And after a great start from Paratroopers in round number 1, WK United look a little bit more stable. Now Paratroopers here. Oh my goodness, a defensive play from Wolfman once again. Almost gets a second as well. The car bomb takes out 1. The second is not to be. Now Paratroopers looking to tie this one up at 2 for 2. Infinite infight. Almost picks up a kill with the assault rifle. Dozy Dan has made their way onto the site. Not Harry's wants to be rather careful. They're going to fall, and now it's solely at the hands of Dorfenklus here in a 1 versus 2. Does get the first kill. Infinite insight, the second. Has Dorfenklus spotted out Infinite insight? Maybe not. Hasn't, and I feel like that's going to be a kill for insight. You need to be a little bit more vigilant there, and I'm very surprised that Dorfenklus didn't see him hiding in the boxes. 2-2 now in between these two sides. An incredibly close search and destroy played so far. You've got to really give Wolfman some credit. It's been, I feel, an important part of Paratroopers' offense and defense so far, and well, hasn't had that much to do so far in this round. Infinite Insight is going to strike first for Paratroopers. Not Harry's is going to respond with the kill onto Dozy Dan, and now that makes this a 2 versus 2. Dorfenklus and Not Harry's looking to get an advantage here in the search and destroy. Not Harry's gets their 7th kill, and we haven't even talked about what a performance Not Harry's has had so far. That's their 7th kill. Now down to Infinite Insight here. 1 versus 2. It's about as far away from the A-bomb site as could possibly be. The bomb now does go down. And an Insight now coming around for the flank. Not Harry's the first boss on this site, but again, I feel like the final boss for Infinite Insight here might just be the time. There's 20 seconds left on the clock for Infinite Insight to get this defuse. Of course, has to reserve 5 seconds to get said defuse. Infinite Insight now going to run onto the site. Actually hasn't been spotted out, takes some shots, and the stealth is completely gone. Infinite Insight's 1 versus 2 just doesn't work out. And Dorfenklus and Not Harry's able to clutch up there versus Infinite Insight. They will take a 3-2 advantage here in the search and destroy, but still an extremely close affair on St. Petrograd. Now Paratroopers on the defense for the very last time. Again, they're looking to tie this one up at 3-3. WK United looking for a 4-2 advantage. Wolfman looking for that first blood, but one Deeg is going to snap. And now that opens up the potential for an A push. The last 2 players on Paratroopers have to be rather wary, though, as WQ United make this push towards A. They're now in the mid-map. They cross paths any second now with Dorfenklus, who is covering that area of the map. Very well placed nade from Infinite Insight. Actually takes down Dorfenklus, has Dorfenklus's number. And now the retake potentially coming in from Paratroopers. It might just work out, folks, because it's now down to Not Harry's in a 1 versus 3. From a 2 versus 3 here, Paratroopers have put this down to a 2 versus 1. Not Harry's just has to defend the bomb from being defused. It's not going to happen. Infinite Insight already jumping on the defuse. And we will see a 3-3 situation here, folks. Paratroopers are playing WQ United so close. But remember here, folks, though, that WQ United and Paratroopers went 3-3 in map number 1. Of course, that just finished 6-3. WQ United were able to win 3 defensive rounds straight to take the game and hold a 1-0 series advantage. Can Paratroopers stop that from happening here? Well, we're going to see a drone play from Infinite Insight once again. This has happened before, and it is such a great call to make if you're Paratroopers. You essentially get all the information as to where WQ United is, but actually, the life of that drone is cut short. Infinite Insight's drone going to fall. Also, although Dozy takes out Not Harry's. And Wundig and Dorfenklus here. Now left up in a 2 versus 3. Their shots coming down from Wundig. Gets the kill onto Wolfman. Has to worry about Infinite Insight. He was camping in a corner, and now it's down to Dorfenklus. 1 versus 2. Of course, the one positive here for Dorfenklus is that bomb still has yet to be retrieved by Infinite Insight. But as I say it, Infinite Insight picks up that bomb. And now you've got to ask the question of, realistically, where are Paratroopers going to take this bomb? You feel like it might be A. And that could work out just fine and dandy for Dorfenklus, who activates Dead Silence to make some moves through apartments. Could catch Infinite Insight off guard. Oh, and the Call of Duty time, and Infinite Insight turns that wall just as Dorfenklus gets control of apartments. Surely not. Dorfenklus has just heard Infinite Insight could just stop this bomb from being planted, and they will. Now the fight up top in apartments, though. Actually going to be below. Dorfenklus is so close to Dozidan. Dozidan doesn't realise it. The slap in the face, though, from Dorfenklus will make this 4-3 in favour of WQ United. Oh my goodness, folks. This is an incredibly intense game of Search and Destroy. It's Paratroopers now. Back on offense once again. Activated Dead Silence right away. Has Dozy down. And now it's a 3 versus 3 from the outset. And they seem to be angling towards a B push. They have to get past Wundig to make this one work. Will they? That is the question. The answer for now seems to be no. Wundig stays alive. Right towards the back of the map for a Wundig. Bomb still could potentially go towards A if Paratroopers so wish. Right now, though, Paratroopers quite content with just sitting top restaurant. Infinite Insight now going to traverse across the mid-map and round the side of the hazmat building. Just to be very careful here, Wundig. As long as they have eyes on the hazmat building, we'll have eyes on where Infinite Insight is going. Oh my goodness, the Call of Duty timing in this game is just ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Wundig jumps off the heady just as Infinite Insight runs out of the hazmat building. Wundig may have just spotted out Wolfman, and they've spotted out each other. Wolfman wins that fight. Now bomb is down between these two sides. Infinite Insight runs into the hazmat building. Dorfenklus here. left up to move forward. Now it's down to Not Harry's. Not going to happen. Paratroopers will tie this one up at 4-4. Paratroopers on offense for the last time before we switch sides. It will also be the last time in this game. Infinite Insight once again going to be utilising that drone to spot out a few players around the map. Last time around, WQ United were able to shoot it out of the sky before it really did all that much damage. That is going to be exactly what happens once again. WQ United take that drone down. Now looking to plant that bomb down is going to be Paratroopers. They draw first blood. WQ United going to lose one player. Not Harry's though, with a great response. Now it is a 2 versus 2. And technically speaking, the option is entirely open here for Paratroopers to rotate over towards B. They have a free bomb site to work with. Be very careful. Harry's is actually going to be in behind. Picks up that first kill. Now it's down to 1D in a 1 versus 1. And WQ United find their way on to map number point. 5-4. But this has been a much closer affair than Gunrunner was. St. Petrograd seems to be a favourite here for Paratroopers. They're working their way around WQ United, but it just hasn't worked out entirely, of course, now that WQ United are on that point. We'll see as we switch sides for the final time in this game. Will WQ United close it out here? Will we see a round 11? WQ United straight towards A we go. One player from Paratroopers has already infiltrated the site. That's going to be Wolfman in apartments. And this is a power position, but Wolfman actually going to give it up instead, preferring the close quarters combat the dual 357s offers them. Here comes the dead silence from Wolfman. Going straight for the push up of apartments. Those dual 357s, very effective, but 1D with a well-placed Claymore going to take him down. And now it's down to Dozy Dan. 1 versus 2. I called out Dozy Dan as the MVP of this lineup before the series started. And now they have to save this game, save the tournament lives with Paratroopers. Gets that first kill onto Not Harry's. This is absolutely possible, but you need to go now. You've only got 5 seconds to jump on the defuse. I think this venture through apartments has actually ended any chance of winning this 1 versus 1. It doesn't happen. And WQ United, folks, will be moving on in the tournament. They are going to win this one 6-4. And therefore win the series 2-0. Congratulations to WQ United. You continue on in this tournament without having dropped a single map. Very well played by that side. And once again, everyone impressing. Not Harry's, who I think has actually been kind of silent across this tournament thus far, having a great game here in St. Petrograd, picking up 10 kills. And as I said before, WQ United, they now win this series and they move on in the tournament to the semi-finals, where they join Aligned by EOD, who of course just took out the Inner Circle 2-0 in the series prior to this one, to make their way into the semi-finals. That's half of our field cut down for today. We're down to our last 2 matches, the Off Patterns versus We Tried and GSD Mania versus Blame It on the Wi-Fi. Still yet to come, guys. Of course, 2 more spots in the semi-finals left to hand out tonight for the Agency Showdown. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to throw it to a quick commercial break. There's more Call of Duty to come right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Activision Blizzard Media's first esports tournament, the Agency Showdown. If you're just joining us, you've missed half of the action today, as we already have two teams sitting in the semi-finals of this tournament, aligned by EOD, and now WQ United have moved on to the final four squads in the tournament and put themselves one step closer to being crowned the champions of the Agency Showdown and netting themselves a rather lovely trophy to boot. Yet that being said, we still have two more teams to put into that semi-finals, and therefore two more matches of Call of Duty to be played. The first of which will be going down between the Off-Patents and We Tried. Now, these two teams, again, it's kind of one of those situations where we've got very even teams. Both teams have gone 4-1 in terms of map count across rounds number 1 and rounds number 2 so far. The Off-Patents, they took out Mad Dogs 2-1 in a very close affair in round number 1. Their second round matchup against Farm Team, well, it was a little bit quicker. It went 2-0. The maps themselves weren't all that close either. The Off-Patents actually breezed through the round of 16. For We Tried, again, a kind of similar story, if not a little bit flipped. Of course, they actually went 2-0 against the Akimbros in round number 1, but 2-1 against #Agency Life in a very, very close matchup in the round of 16. So however you want to spin that, again, these guys, they have had rather close affairs in the round of 32 and the round of 16. But getting to the round of 8 is an achievement alone. Getting to the quarterfinals is, I'd be pretty pleased with that if I'm either of these two sides, but only one will be moving on to the semi-finals. Again, I'm kind of sticking with the same MVPs I talked about when I spoke with these teams in their respective quarterfinal or round of 16 matchups. For me, Hendrix is the best player on the Off-Patents by far, and I've got to say, I feel like Tunaman is just a little bit, I guess, a cut above the rest when it comes to you comparing them with Killswitch and Yevkin, who are their teammates on We Tried. Regardless, I think this is going to be another great matchup, guys. You know, I know I've said that before about the last two, and they both came out to be 2-0s, but even then, they were very close maps. I do feel like we might have our first map free here between these two sides that, again, have had rather close affairs across their first series in this tournament. So we're going to be getting things underway with our first map of the series. It's going to be Hackney Yard, I believe, followed up with via Ramaza, and then, of course, the third and final map will be decided as and when we get to it, if we get to it. I think it's fair to say, of course, we could well have another 2-0 on our hands. Who knows here with this best of 3. So Hackney Yard is ready to get, and remember, guys, for those of you maybe new to joining us here, these are best of 3 matchups. So the first team to win 2 Search and Destroy games in a row, or just 2 Search and Destroy games, I suppose, will be going through to the semi-finals. But if you are new, you might not have heard me say before that you should be subscribed to this YouTube channel, because when you subscribe, not only do you gain ungodly powers, you also get the power of being notified when we do go live with the semi-finals and finals on Thursday and Friday, respectively. So you do not want to miss those, and you want to subscribe to the channel to get those notifications. Also, you can talk about all the action. You can find an outlet. If you don't have an outlet right now, you're not sitting in a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Discord party or whatever, a chat, whatever floats your boat. You can have an outlet to discuss all the action that you see tonight with the #Agency Showdown on Twitter. Make sure you're talking about exactly what happens. I'll be checking out some of the comments on Twitter once we're done with tonight's broadcast. That being said, we're right into the action now with Off-Patents versus We Tried. The Off-Patents hit bomb in hand. They're going to be the team that start off on offense, and we're on the beautiful map that is Hackney Yard. Let's see where Off-Patents take this bomb. We Tried here. On defense, don't really have to play all that aggressively. Of course, Yevkin with this M4A1 in hand will be the first player getting involved with the action as the Off-Patents make their way slowly but surely towards B. You get a sort of feeling that that's where they're angling for here with this offense. But if that is the case, they don't seem all that aggressive. They don't seem to be acting with intent. Yevkin, here's a door above him. I feel like Yevkin is absolutely stuffed here in this situation. You've got 2 players very, very close. One right behind. Yevkin has no support from teammates. It doesn't matter though. Yevkin picks up that first kill onto Blatant Shrimp. Just like that here. The Off-Patents now in a 2 versus 3. SFH and Crystal and Mama have been well and truly stumped, I feel, on this offense. UMU have done a great job of rotating over towards the B site, and now SFH is all alone up top on offices. Crystal and Mama has well and truly abandoned their teammate, and I've actually never seen this jump up before. Crystal and Mama is teaching me things. Jumping up onto a power position, but in a 1 versus 3, you're going to need a lot more than a power position. You're going to need a powerful shot. Do they have it? Well, it doesn't even come into play as they get shot in the back. And UME tried with a flawless search and destroy round to kick things off. They do not lose a single man on the battlefield. Tuna Man going to close things out with this M4A1 Task Force variant. UME tried now, 1-0 up in this search and destroy. And a great start to this one. Let's see how they follow up. Well, it seems that Tuna Man is following up with a silenced HDR with a kill onto Blatant Shrimp. That's surely going to slow up the offense once again from the off patterns. Question is, how do they respond? Crystal and Mama in the mid-map may have just spotted out Kill Switch. Kill Switch going to turn for the kill. Crystal and Mama with some crispy shots picks up that kill. Going to stim shot to regen off the back of the gunfight. Now we tried here. Down to a 2 versus 2. Of course, it is still up to UME try to defend the bomb site. The off patterns are the ones that, technically speaking, need to make that first move forward. So if UME tried, as long as they don't get jumpy in this round, will be perfectly okay. Crystal and Mama surely going to get shot in the back, and they do. And now it's SFH here in a 1 versus 2 against Yevkin and Tuna Man. SFH not in the best position, but does have bomb. Not sure if they're aware at all that there is a player right above them. I think SFH actually is and might just get the jump on Tuna Man. Gonna go for the kill. Tuna Man is there, but SFH has better shots, and now it's a 1 versus 1. SFH versus Yevkin. SFH just jumps straight towards the bomb. Gonna get the plant. Yevkin doesn't respond. Now the bomb is down. Yevkin gonna check all of the corners. Oh my goodness, Yevkin. Oh no. I don't know if SFH can stop Yevkin. Yes, they do. Oh, Yevkin wins the fight. Oh my word. For a second, my heart was beating super duper fast because Yevkin and SFH just didn't look like they were going to spot each other. They finally do. Now UME tried 2-0 up here. And the start of this search and destroy kill switch is going to make their advantage even more obvious as Crystal and Mama falls out of the round very early on in this one, folks. Now it's down to Blatant Shrimp and SFH. Crystal and Mama were out the round, but the off patterns, they seem still intent on making this B-site push work. Maybe not going to work anymore. Tuna Man picks up 1. SFH once again in a 1 versus 3. Let's pick up Tuna Man, so that's a start, but still Yevkin and Kill Switch need to be taken down. SFH just got that second kill. Yevkin hasn't actually taken them down. Oh, just spotted SFH on this rotation. Dead silence needs to be utilised here. Yevkin, please do not make too much noise as you go for this kill. Actually, it doesn't really matter that much. Oh my god, SFH getting away here. Yevkin not going to challenge that one just yet. SFH is going to get in a power position here. This could be crucial. Oh, SFH checking all the corners but the one where Yevkin actually is. Oh, and SFH wins the 1 versus 3. Perfect play from SFH. I didn't think that kill would go down as quickly as it did. Okay. Now, at the end of that offensive run there from the off patterns, they are going to be 2-1 down still, but SFH ensures that they do get around on the board. Now, UME tried. They play aggressors here for 3 rounds straight. What do they do with this bomb? Well, it seems they're going to send it straight towards A. Tuneman gets control of the top L positioning. SFH is there, and Tuneman deals with them very swiftly, and now UME tried. Have full control of this A site. How quickly do they realize it? That is the question. Very quickly, you might assume they check all the relevant corners, think, hey, no one's home. Let's get this bomb down. Get out of here, lads. Straight to the pub. UME tried now. 40 seconds left on the clock for them to defend this site. The off-patterns have to find their way in, and they're not in the best position to do so. Split up on the mini-map. There will be no trades if one of these players falls. Kill switch. Ready for this push from Blatant Shrimp, and there it is. The fight goes down. Crystal and Mama left up in a 1 versus 3 here. So his first kill, not going to happen, unfortunately. And UM retried. Take a 3-1 advantage here in Hackney Yard. Fortunately, Blatant Shrimp and Crystal and Mama are unable to pull off the 2 versus 3. Again, they lose their respective one-on-one engagements. And those are hard to win. I think it is important to note there, you know, you can't expect too much from a lineup like that. Not in a position like that anyway. Once again, UME try taking that first blood. Let's see if they do it once again. Instead, actually, they have a free plant on A. Nobody from the off-pats has done anything to defend this A site. Bomb will go down. Now, in a 3 versus 3 still. Nobody has fallen out of this round just yet. Let's see how the off-pats react when they do actually have numbers to work with. Crystal and Mama jump straight into the site. Kill switch is going to punish for their insolence. And now it's down to Blatant Shrimp and SFH here in a 2 versus 3. Slow retake, I will say that for sure. SFH has put off a 1 versus 3 once in this tournament though. Looks to take down 2 more players, and maybe even going to get the second. Not going to happen. Blatant Shrimp now left up in a 1 versus 2 against Killswitch and Yevkin. And it's not going to happen. That bomb is going to go off, so the fuse coming in. Not at all. And Yomi tried now 4-1 up in this search and destroy. The off patterns here need to get something going. It is going to be the final offensive round from Yomi tried. Both rounds so far, they've seemed to favour the A site. And they've seemed to have done it with a lot of venom. Doesn't happen again here. The off patterns do send one player straight into the Hornet's Nest, straight into the A site for defense. Unfortunately, SFH actually loses the initial gunfight to Yevkin. And now it's down to Blatant Shrimp and Crystal and Mama. Hey ho, look at this from Crystal and Mama. Some aggression coming in from the flank. How quickly did the UM retrieve react? Maybe not quick enough. Crystal and Mama are able to pick up that first kill entirely uncontested elsewhere, though. Tunaman takes down Blatant Shrimp. And it's now a 1 versus 2 for Crystal and Mama. Hey, this is pretty nice. Crystal and Mama are going to stim shot, walk away from the fight for now. I don't know if Killswitch is actually ready for this. Oh my goodness, the C4, the read from Crystal and Mama. As we are going to see another round go the way of off patterns. What a 1 versus 3 there for Crystal and Mama. And I love that C4. And the beauty of Call of Duty is that due to the kill cam existing, we are going to get to see this projectile land right in front of Killswitch. And oh my word. Patterns, they find another round on the board here. Now Yomi tried 4-2 up in the search and destroy. As we switch sides, they now are on the defense once again. The off patterns responsible for getting this bomb down. And I feel like now is as good a time as any to give you guys a bit of a lesson in hacking the yard. This position where Crystal and Mama currently is, it is what's known as a power position, and it will drastically improve the chances of off patterns of actually getting this bomb down on A. Does immediately. Crystal and Mama now starting to heat up in this game. Gets that first kill on to Kill Switch. Playing Shrimp elsewhere, takes the kill onto Yevkin, and now maybe the off patterns here starting to take it to UMB as Tuna Man going to miss all of those relevant shots to get that final kill. And here we are, guys, the off patterns making this one close, a second round straight after the switch. The M13 of Blatant Shrimp here. Yumi tried now, still with the advantage though. They still have something to work with here. The off patterns maybe have found their ground in this one, and this is where you need to be careful. Crystal and Mama with a great flank gets the first kill. Maybe the second on the card as well. Kill Switch is down, and Crystal and Mama. Deary, deary me, this is MVP material. Crystal and Mama is coming out with an incredible performance here. Now it's down to Yevkin. In a 1 versus 2. Has already taken one player down, so this would effectively be a 1 versus 3 if they could pull it off. Still has a lot of time to work with as well, but that time is dwindling away. Gonna make a move sooner or later, Yevkin. Towards L is where Yevkin goes. The door opening is going to make a little bit of noise. Maybe the off patterns will know here whether or not Yevkin has pushed in that direction. Yevkin gets that first kill onto SFH, and now it's a one-on-one engagement. Yevkin, though, still needs to reserve a little bit of time for the defuse. I don't believe they have, and just going to jump on it, even though it is a futile effort at this point. 1 second isn't enough time, but it doesn't matter anyway. Crystal and Mama going to finish the round with an ace, the third kill on the bomb diffuser. And here we are, guys, 4-4. They were 4-1 down, the off patterns, and they've come back and stomped out We Tried in the prior 3 rounds. Now it is time for the final offense here from the off patterns. Can they take the lead with a 4th round in a row? Crystal and Mama are going to take some shots, but of course the sim shot, very handy as that tactical piece of equipment that will put them back up to 100 HP. We Tried now. On the defense. Goodness, kills going down in the mid-map. It comes down to SFH now to 1 versus 2. Long range shots from the P9. He almost eliminates Yevkin. Tuna Man is there. Surely has just spotted out SFH below him, and I feel like they have. Tuna Man is ready for this exit below from SFH. Tuna Man surely going to hear it. Yes, they do. SFH runs out. And unfortunately for them, We Tried are going to claw back around here. Now it is going to be the We Tried on map point. Just one search and destroy round away. Can they find that round here if we switch back to them being on the offense? The answer might just be no. SFH going to start just as strong as they did in the beginning of this search and destroy. Picks up that first blood onto Tuna Man, but Kill Switch with a relevant response takes out SFH. And now a 2 versus 2. Yevkin choosing to plant this bomb. Kill Switch is there for the cover. Not very well, it would seem. Crystal and Mama is able to yeet out a C4. It drops right now next to Yevkin, and he's going to explode. Now 1 versus 2 here for Kill Switch is dealing with Blatant Shrimp and Crystal and Mama, the latter of whom does actually have a portable radar revealing the positioning of Kill Switch. Kill Switch now ready for this push from behind. I feel like we might be going to a round 11 here, folks. Kill Switch is really starting in a bad position. Does get that first blood. Not going to be able to turn around for the second. Crispell and Mama has all the time in the world for this to fuse. 15 seconds left on the clock. And hey ho, go folks. It's round 11. That's what we're looking for here between these two sides. I said this could be a close affair. And it looks to be so far. We're in round 11 here, folks. Kill Switch again. Going to draw first blood onto Blatant Shrimp. Now SFH and Crispell and Mama, who have performed very well in this map so far. Oh my god, Tournament! Going to take out Crispell and Mama. I believe Crispell and Mama is actually getting ready there to use a score streak. That could have been incredibly beneficial for the off patterns. But now it is SFH in a 1 versus 3. Can they pull it off? That is the question. This would be an incredible play if they could. Kill Switch, Yevkin, and Tuna Man. Yeah, though, just defending this site for 25 seconds more, and they will hold this win in round number 1. Yes, they will. Map number 1 goes the way of You and Me Tried. If not, for a very good effort from the off patterns, it will be them. You and Me Tried with a 6-5 victory in round number 1, or map number 1 in this series, in this best of 3. And now we move on to map number 2 in this series. And again, what a very, very intense affair I feel there between these two teams. To be honest, I kind of felt when it was like 4-1 to You and We Tried, I felt like that was going to be over so quickly. But the off patterns quickly dug in. They quickly found something that I certainly didn't expect them to have. And well, they definitely gave a game to when we tried. I'm kind of disappointed in a way they couldn't finish off the comeback. They couldn't make it 6-5 in the end in that round 11. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work out that way. And now You and We Tried have a 1-0 series advantage. Remember here, folks, it is a best of 3. So You and We Tried win the next map. We'll have our third 2-0 of the night. They will be moving on as the third semi-finalist in the Agency Showdown. And we'll be moving on to our next match, our final quarterfinal, GSD Mania versus Blame It on the Wi-Fi Hero, waiting in the wings to begin their matchup. For now, though, the off patterns here now need a brilliant search and destroy performance. They need something almost perfect. And to be fair, like I said, being 4-1 down in the search and destroy, having the gall to come back and really perform in the way they did, I'm kind of proud. I'm kind of proud in the way they performed very, very well. That being said, they're going to have to really take that out, and they're going to have to push it to the back of their mind for what is going to be Ramatsa Search and Destroy. It is going to be our 6th and final map in the rotation that we're going to be seeing today, and of course throughout this entire tournament. And what a map it is. Again, this is going to be a map that promotes mostly close quarter gun engagements, but we will be seeing some long ranges of sight, I suppose, from construction towards the mid map. That construction is going to be really a key point in the map. Not only does it house one of the bomb sites, but it is going to be I guess a point in the map that overlooks the majority of the map. So if you have an AR or a sniper rifle and you sit top construction, you actually have an advantage on defense, and that will be a strategy that many teams will employ to defend that A site. Talking about B, though, of course, there is also Grandma's House and Showers, which you can defend that bomb site from. So it'll be really interesting to see where these defensive sides line up around each bomb site to defend. That being said, I think Ramat's Search and Destroy is ready to get underway. I'm very, very excited to get this one underway, as I said, because, again, given how close the off patterns and You and Me Tried actually played each other in map number 1, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another round 11 here. I mean, I say that. I said the exact same thing at the end of the Inner Circle versus Aligned by AD, and Aligned by AD came out in map number 2 and straight up against Inner Circle. So we'll see if something similar happens once again. But map number 2 is underway between the off patterns and You and Me Tried. And again, for a little bit of context here, folks, You and Me Tried 1-0 up in the series now. The off patterns need a flawless search and destroy, and they will win this series. Let's see if they can do it. Crystal and Mara picks up bomb for the off patterns, and they will once again be starting on offense and will be staying on that side for 3 rounds straight. You know, we tried. On defense, I've got a nice little sort of 1-1-1 setup, one over at A, one over at B, and one in the mid map. And that setup will actually cover the majority of the map. It does, however, put quite a lot of emphasis on one specific player, depending on where the off patterns actually go. But we're seeing that off patterns have actually made their way over towards B. Nade being thrown out though. Yumi tried, still under pressure here. Cheetahman has already fallen in this round, so it is now kill switch versus Yevkin. Kill switch takes down SFH. Going to turn around for the kill. Yes, they will get it. It's now down to Crispell and Mama in a 1 versus 3. Has the drop onto Yevkin with the dual pistols making their debut in this series. Switch now in a 1 versus 1 against Crisp Little Mama. Of course, Crisp Little Mama has to make this move, and oh my goodness, Crisp Little Mama gets some shots put into the back of them. Killswitch cannot finish that fight, and there's not really enough time for the off patterns to plant this bomb down now, as the Killswitch, all they need to do is essentially just survive here. Crystal and Mum are actually going to run straight towards B, and if Killswitch places correctly, they can stop this plant. I don't know if they have. This bomb is going to go down. Oh, not enough time. You and me tried. Going to win it off the back of time. And that's one of the first times I feel like in this tournament so far that I've seen a player actually just run straight towards the bomb to get it down, knowing that it is a time issue. So that's very well played on Crisp Little Mama. Part for to actually make that run towards the site, unfortunately, isn't carried out properly, and you and we tried are going to see their first round win off the back of it. Straight towards B is Blatant Shrimp with this bomb. You and we tried, though, they have some cover over it. Of course, Yevkin down low. But Yevkin's backup has fallen out of the round. Crystal Mama takes out Tuna Man right behind him. And that's really going to make things awkward for Yevkin, who is just sitting there. What is essentially behind enemy lines now. No matter. Crystal Mama is taken care of by Killswitch. Yevkin takes care of Blatant Shrimp in response. And now it is left up to SFH here at 1 versus 2. Not going to happen. And hey guys, Yomi tried now. 2-0 up in this one. The off patterns can't quite put together an offense here. Now the off patterns looking for their first round here as they go on the offensive side. Would seem towards A off the start of this round. SFH the bomb carrier. Lovely Semtex gets thrown out. Tags down Tunerman, but unfortunately not going to be able to finish that kill. Elsewhere, Killswitch up top in that very same power position we talked about previously on the bridge. Takes 2 headshots. The accuracy is there. Onto Crisp Little Mama and Blatant Shrimp, and now it's down at SFH in a 1 versus 3. He pulled one of these off earlier on Hackney Yard. Can they do it now? That is the question here for SFH. Really, SFH here, just trying to play this as quietly as possible. Killswitch, Yevkin, and Tunerman hunting them down. SFH here goes for the kill. Does actually get one on Tunerman and walks away scot-free. Somehow has managed to evade 2 players as well. Gets that second kill. Not going to find the third. Oh, for a second there, I thought we were going to see another 1 versus 3 from SFH. Doesn't quite work out like that, though. As you and we tried now, 3-0 up in this search and destroy. Killswitch, Yevkin, and Tuneman have played a perfect defensive setup for their first 3 rounds. Can they play just as well on the offense as they switch sides? Bonkara is Tuneman. I left up all on their own for now, and actually Killswitch has done so well, they've actually managed to earn a cruise missile. Going to go straight into construction. Unfortunately, no cigar with that cruise missile, but does earn a little bit of information. Now they know that there is going to be blatant shrimp inside Grandma's, and that is the only player to be concerned about on the B site. Maybe a much more active concern than it would once seem, though, as blatant shrimp now going to run right into one player. Yevkin is ready for that fight, though. Not immediately, at least, but does react rather well. Now, Yomi tried have an advantage further so now as Killswitch takes down Crystal and Mama. So all up to SFH and yet another 1 versus 3. Does get that first kill on to Killswitch, but they'll soon find themselves in a rather precarious position. They have to make their way over towards B. 35 seconds now left on the clock for SFH. To run towards that B site, you have to reserve 5 seconds for the defuse. Yevkin and Tuneman have also set themselves up far apart here, so that's 2 separate one-on-one engagements that SFH is going to have to take. The first about to come as they cross paths with Tuneman. What can SFH do? Runs right into Tuneman. Tuneman is ready for it, though. Unfortunately, SFH tries to throw utility in the middle of a fight, and Tuneman wins off the back of it. Yomi tried here now, 4-0 up in this search and destroy game. I know I said they were 4-1 up before, and the off patterns managed to push it all the way to around 11 in the grand scheme of things, but still, I don't know if this is possible. The off patterns haven't looked all that great here on Ramasa. Crystal, Mummer, and SFH for all the work they put in round number 1 of this best of 3. Don't seem to be able to put that same shift in here on Ramasa, but maybe things are about to change in this round. Of course, we still are at a very similar swing in Hackney Yard. Crystal and Mummer have, for the first time in this game, drawn first blood for all the off patterns, and that leaves Yomi Tried in a precarious position as they sit in the mid-map, decidedly unsure if Yomi Tried should realistically take this bomb to either A or B. Again, they are in a 2 versus 3 here, so they've got to make a move relatively quickly. And if they could just find an advantage somewhere, whether or not with the kill or just getting that bomb down, that they should really do it rather quickly. Finally making a move, and it's going to be a good one. Killswitch takes down Blatant Shrimp. That opens up the B bomb site for a potential plant. Killswitch on the half wall has eyes on a potential Crystal and Mama push. Tuneman is going to get this bomb down with no problems, and now in a 2 versus 2, this defense of this site will be a lot easier to work with. Tuneman is going to be sitting in Granny's. The off pattern's going for a rather one-dimensional attack here. Both SFH and Crystal and Mama coming from the same area of the map. Crystal and Mama are actually able to traverse into Granny's. Surely the call will be made, but individual one-on-one engagements won by SFH and Crystal and Mama. They will retake this site with no problems, and they will finally have a round on the board here for the off patterns. As Yomi Tried, for all of their flawless performance so far in this S&D, will give up a round. Now the off pants and Yomi Tried hit. Once again, going at it. It is going to be the final offensive push until we switch sides. That will be next round. So Yomi Tried. What can they make of this offensive push? Well, has been a relatively good start for Killswitch at least. Takes down Blatant Shrimp, but elsewhere, Crystal and Mama are starting to heat up, and you want to stop this player before they get heated up, I think. Crystal and Mama proved exactly that in Hackney Yard. But more to the point, I feel like Yomi Tried to have a bigger threat to worry about in terms of SFH, who currently sit atop construction, right above the noses, not under. Kill switch and tuna man. Bomb now down though for We Tried. How does SFH, Crystal and Manuel manage this? First fight's going down. Yevkin wins it against Crystal and Mum, and now it's down at SFH 1 versus 2. 25 seconds left on the clock. SFH comes down, wins that first fight against Yevkin. Kill switch with their dead silence. All they need to do is just check this bomb every 5 seconds. Do not get too aggressive onto a fight. I feel like SFH might not have the time here. 9 seconds left on the clock. If they were to just jump the defuse, they might be able to get it. Kill switch, you've got to check the bomb. Please check the bomb. Oh, they do. Oh, dearie me. I thought for a second that Kill switch wasn't going to check that bomb, and I just... Oh, I had the worst feeling in the world, but it doesn't turn out that way. And now We Tried are 5-1 up in the search and destroy. They switch sides to the defense. They're no longer the ones that have to be aggressors, and I think that makes the situation much harder to win for the off-patterns. Especially considering what they started off on the offense, and they lost all 3 offensive rounds. Now you've got to ask for a flawless performance from them offensively. Let's see what they can do with this bomb. Crystal and Mama may be the first player up in the mid-map to be aggressive. We Tried here. Gonna draw that first blood. Tuneman takes down Crystal and Mama, and now we're in dire straits here for the off-patterns. 0-6 is blatant shrimp. If there was ever a time for the off-patterns here to come out swinging, it would be now. Blatant shrimp and SFH looking for those kills, and this is a great entry onto the site, to be fair to them. They've actually have a lot of themselves, quite a lot of space. Jeffing goes down. SFH with a second, and that's a beautiful 2-piece from Kill Switch. And now it is down to Tuneman in a 1 versus 2 to ensure a win here from We Tried. There it is, the first kill. A 1-on-1 engagement. Blatant strip again. I said they were 0-6 at this point. Put some shots into the bomb. Probably not the best idea. 30 seconds left in this round. Goes for the 1-on-1 engagement, and Tuneman comes out on top. The defuse will come through, short of Tuneman's controller disconnected, and them not having any spare charge to go around. And We Tried will win 6-1. A much better performance out of We Tried in comparison to what happened on Hackney Yard. They will be winning our 3rd semi-final of the day, 2-0, and they'll be going through as our 3rd semi-finalist alongside Aligned by EOD and WK United. And I'll say what I said about the Inner Circle and Paratroopers. For the off-patterns, that is not a bad performance whatsoever. Top 8, look, I gotta say it, pretty good performance, and I think you've got to be very proud of yourselves, in a 32-team tournament. To be honest with you, top 8 is brilliant, and honestly, SFH, Crystal Mama, and Blatant Shrimp should all walk away from this tournament extremely proud. That being said, congratulations to We Tried. They go through as the 3rd semi-finalists alongside Aligned by EOD and WK United. Therefore, we have 3 of our 4 semi-final slots already given out in this tournament. We have 1 more to go. That match is coming up next on stream. It's going to be between GST Mania versus Blame It on the Wi-Fi. But before we get there, we're going to go to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere, because our final quarterfinal of the tournament is coming right up after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Activision Blizzard Media's first esports tournament, the Agency Showdown. We're down to our final match of the night here in the quarterfinals. 3 semi-finalists have already been decided, aligned by EOD, WQ United, and We Tried. Now, GST Mania and Blame It on the Wi-Fi are about to fight it out for that final spot. All of this tournament so far comes down to this. GST Mania and Blame It on the Wi-Fi both have played 2 matches so far in the round of 32 and the round of 16. In all but one case, they were 2-0s. Blame It on the Wi-Fi had a 2-1 performance against Diamonds in the Rough in the round of 32. They went on to take down Viewability 2-0 actually yesterday. It was like a final match of the day. For GST Mania, on the other hand, things have been pretty much plain sailing throughout the entire tournament. They took down PHG 2-0 in round number 1, and then, of course, Flavors 2-0 in round 2. So GSD looking to continue to be flawless in this tournament. Can Blame It on the Wi-Fi hand them their first map loss here in the quarterfinals? Can they knock them out entirely? That would be a genuine feat, of course. Now, these two sides are very good teams. Let's get that out of the way right now. Both teams here are extremely talented. GST Mania, you've got the likes of Mantis and Pod Racing who have proved themselves very well. And for Blaming on the Wi-Fi, of course, you've got players like Beautiful, Jake, and Splode, who are all very, very good players. They've proven themselves over the course of these 7 days, I think, that we've been live now. And I'm very, very excited to see how they perform here in the quarterfinals. Remember, guys, this is a best of 3, so it is the first team to win 2 maps of Search and Destroy will be going through to the semi-finals and continue their shot at becoming the Agency Showdown champions. Now, we've been through all 6 maps today, so we're going to see some maps again here in this series, and we're going to be kicking off this series with Crash, I believe, for map number 1. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited to get this one underway again. Unfortunately, we haven't actually had any map freeze at all between any of the teams here in this tournament thus far. So it would be nice to get one, well, I say in the tournament thus far. In the quarterfinals, we haven't had a 2-1. It would be nice to get one here in the final quarterfinal of the tournament. And remember, guys, as I said, already 3 semi-finalists have been decided. We are looking for the 4th, and all of those semi-finalists I think have absolutely earned their place in the final 4. And honestly, having seen GSD Mania play, having seen Blame It on the Wi-Fi play, I couldn't call who is going to go through off into the semi-finals. Whoever it is, it will be sad to lose the other team. I think that is absolutely fair to say. One thing I do want to say, guys, though, is you guys should be subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you're not, you're missing out on quite a lot of content just like this. You'll be missing out actually on tomorrow and Friday's action. You may not get the notification. You may not know that we're live. But if you're subscribed to the channel, then you will get that notification, and then you will know that, hey, we're live, and there's some Agency Showdown action to be watched. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to talk about anything that's happened tonight, or of course in any of the days of tournament action that we've been providing you guys here at the Agency Showdown. You can talk about it on Twitter with the hashtag Agency Showdown. So that's everything that we've sort of got before going into this match. I believe the map is ready to get underway again. Both of these two teams, GST Mania and Blame It on the Wi-Fi, have proven themselves to be a very, very good sides, and I'm very excited to see them face off. I'll do what I have been doing before and call an MVP for both sides. In GST Mania's case, it is Mantis. Mantis is the MVP. And in Blame It on the Wi-Fi's case, it is going to be Splode for me. Splode is an incredible player. They've proven themselves. Splode and the 725. Name a better duo. I mean, that's like... It's just incredible. Splode with the 725 in their hands, it's so hard to work against. That being said, I think Mantis will prove to be a good adversary for Splode in this matchup again, with the way that Mantis played against PHG and Flavors. Maybe easy runs, I feel. I mean, the way that PHG and Flavors are playing against GST Mania wasn't all that great. But Mantis, I think, certainly made things a lot easier for GST Mania too. As I said, though, map number 1 is going to be Crash. Crash is a map, for those of you who are unaware, maybe you weren't here for the first series of the day in which I said this. It is a map that is remastered from Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It is a beautiful map. It's seen play in so many various Call of Duty titles across Call of Duty history. It's been remastered a ton, and the reason for that is simply just because of how great the map actually plays. It is so perfect. Essentially, the map is centered around literal Crash. I believe it's like a reference. I've never seen the film personally, but I believe it is a reference to Black Hawk Down. I think that's literally the entire map's purpose is to reference that film, and it's placed so well off the back of that. So if any of you guys have seen that film, maybe you'll get the reference and you'll be like, oh, that's why it looks like this. But no, that is what Crash is all about. And we're going to be getting right into the map now. GST Mania taking on Blame It on the Wi-Fi. Remember, for a place in the semi-finals of this tournament. GST Mania now on the defense. It's going to be starting there. On the Wi-Fi. Already in control of the A site. Spode's going to get that bomb down. Beautiful with great cover with pod racing. Spode now on Crash. With this 725, is going to be able to defend this bomb rather well. It's down to Mantis and Dimewise to retake this site. Dimewise is going to go for a jump and could potentially get the drop onto a couple of players, but unfortunately no longer has Mantis for defense. Dimewise, you can't scale that wall, my friend. You're in 1 versus 3. You need to get something going. Unfortunately, going to get turned on by Jake there. And just like that, Blame It on the Wi-Fi. They're going to take round number 1. Now, Blame It on the Wi-Fi once again. Straight towards A. This time they're actually butting heads with a very aggressive GSD Mania on the defense. Unfortunately, it doesn't go well for pod racing once again as they're first blooded by Spode. But Mantis, who has managed to get up top with the ladder, draws first blood for GSD Mania, but the trade's being made. Cronenberg Jake is going to close out the round. And just like that, once again, these rounds are going fast. Extremely fast. Blame It on the Wi-Fi now 2-0 up. Can they have a perfect offensive set here as they go to their third and final offensive round? Maybe not. Mantis has actually come through the mid-map. Is right behind all 3 players. Going to draw first blood. Surely, yes, they will. Cronenberg Jake will fall. And now Blame It on the Wi-Fi in a 2 versus 3 here. Beautiful and Spode. What can they do? I'm just going to throw out a proximity mine that will cover a potential exit for Blame It on the Wi-Fi. I'm sure exactly why they'd want to exit, to be honest with you, but obviously Mantis knows better than I, being at this point in the tournament. GSD Mania now wants to retake this bomb. Great pre-fire actually there from Mantis as they shoot before they even get around the corner. Beautiful left up in a 1 versus 3. That's not going to happen. And GSD Mania will walk away from this round with a win. Pod Racing will get the fuse. And would you look at that? It's not going to be a perfect set of offensive rounds from Blame It on the Wi-Fi. And Blame It on the Wi-Fi with the advantage. We switch sides to them being on the defense here. We'll see what can they do. They have sent Cronenberg Jake straight into the Hornet's Nest. They get taken down by pod racing, but a great trade from Beautiful. Might have another player right in front to deal with. Proximity mine. Actually going to be avoided. Lovely from Dimewise. Still 2 versus 2 now. 1 minute 20 left on the clock, and Spode takes down Mantis with the 725. Dimewise is there, but not going to be all that effective. And Blame It on the Wi-Fi defensively play rather well. And you've got to imagine there that, again, it's just the aggression straight towards A. And now that we're 4 rounds in, I'm interested to see how quickly does GST Mania change up their offense here. I mean, if I'm them right now, I stop going away. I think, look, I know the alleyway is a hard place to get down, but you kind of need it at this point in time. Blaming on the Wi-Fi now. Have heeded my words. Straight towards B is where they're going. Cronenberg, Jake. And Beautiful, not going to be in the action. Never mind. I speak way too soon. Mantis in the middle map is going to get taken down. Pod Racing dealt with swiftly over towards B. Now it's left up to Dimewise in a 1 versus 3 hit. M4A1 in hand. Looking for the kills. Not going to happen. Splode gets a 2-piece with the 725. We will see a defuse from Blame It on the Wi-Fi. And they will go 4-1 up here in the search and destroy. I haven't actually gone for the defuse just yet, I feel. It is so close. And there we go. Oh, actually. Never mind. I don't know. It's Beautiful cleared as the modern defuse. Pod Racing, Mantis and Dimewise need to get something going now, to be honest with you. Pod Racing made weak from his own nade. Jake gonna capitalize on that, picking up that first blood, and now it's Mantis and Dimewise in a 2 versus 3 hit. Beautiful and Splode. Now left up and blaming on the Wi-Fi as Jake is taken down by Mantis. There is placing this round for a GSD Mania, even more so now as Mantis gonna take down one more. Down to Splode in a 1 versus 2. This bomb is actually down on the A side, so Splode's going to have to make some moves to go retrieve it. Oh, Splode, a little bit premature. Does get that first kill with the 725, and now makes it a 1-on-1 engagement. Splode versus Mantis. I called these guys as the MVPs for their respective teams. Mantis does actually have the bomb to work with. Splode going to go for the challenge with the 725. Surely has been heard. And I think they have. What on earth is this gunplay from both of these sides? Oh, Splode turns away at the wrong time. Mantis gets the kill. And it will now be 4-2. Mantis is going to win the mind games there. So we now switch sides again. We are going to be in round number 7. So Blame It on the Wi-Fi, who runs straight back to the offense. Now, in their first 3 offensive rounds, they went straight towards A every single time. C4 is thrown out by Cronenberg. Jake does actually tag a couple of players. Trying to go for that same pallet jump that they got previously elsewhere. Beautiful takes down Pod Racing for the first blood. And I think, statistically speaking, Blame It on the Wi-Fi will actually have earned more first bloods than GSD Mania in this round so far. And just like that, Blame It on the Wi-Fi find themselves in map point. Beautiful going to close things out onto Dimewise, who hasn't really had a good game whatsoever. I think now 0-6 is Dimewise sitting on what we in the Call of Duty community call a donut. I probably shouldn't say that, to be honest. It would make me want a donut, and it is actually 20+1 in the morning here in the UK. I don't think a donut is the wisest choice of food item at this time. Blaming on the Wi-Fi, though. They can sit back, relax, and get all the donuts they want at this point. They're 5-2 up in the search and destroy. They have a lot of room to breathe, but they don't want to chuckle this one. Cronenberg Jake will fall early on to Mantis, and you can feel like Mantis is just activating now, gets that second kill. Somehow doesn't actually notice that the bomb is being planted. Splode able to capitalize. And now Splode in a 1 versus 3. Has already got that first kill, of course, taking down Mantis. Looking for the second, gets it. Walks away from Dimewise. Now this is a 1-on-1 engagement for Splode. Splode just put some shots into A. It is actually completely uncontested as it currently stands. I guess the one good thing for Dimewise here is that they could probably catch Splode off guard as they're planting this bomb. I think that might be what happens here. Splode has just heard Dimewise with the 725. Oh my god, Dimewise gets spotted out. Splode's first shot doesn't actually finish him off. Switches to the M4 for it, and there it is. Blame It on the Wi-Fi. 6-2 up here, folks, on Search and Destroy. They're going to take map number 1, and well, just like that. Explode is going to be able to finish things off. And what a great performance all around there from Blame It on the Wi-Fi. I think while Explode obviously again finishes best. I mean, Explode is by far and away the best player on Blame It on the Wi-Fi. They actually finished 9-2. The rest of the squad, 7 kills for Beautiful, 5 kills for Cronenberg Jake. Everyone played their part there in that first map win by Blame It on the Wi-Fi. And they're going to be very happy with that map 1 victory. But yet still, that is not going to get them through to the semi-finals. What will get them through to a semi-finals is a donut. No, I'm kidding. It's not a donut. It is a map 2 victory. A map 2 victory is what they want. And that would be good for them. Of course, we will not be playing on Crash again. I'll find out the map in just a moment. I believe it is going to be Tausig Backlot. This is a map that's thrown a number of teams off in this tournament, like a lot. I honestly don't know why. I can theorize, I suppose, that Tausig Backlot. I mean, I've been sort of spewing this line all tournament long that Tausig Backlot is essentially a map that is brand new to the game. It's just come out in season 3. I hope it actually has come out in season 3. I could be entirely wrong. But that being said, yeah, I feel like this is a brand new map to the game. Now, while Backlot is technically not a brand new map at all, like it's not like let's not get this any wrong way, right? Backlot is a map that's been known to the Call of Duty franchise, time and time again. This map has been remastered, and of course, it is actually a map from all the way back in 2007 from Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. But I feel like maybe teams in this tournament haven't really played that any variation of the map in all of its reboots or any of its remasters. So to be honest with you, I feel like Backlot is a map that has thrown a number of people off. Maybe a lot of new gens in this game that haven't really had the chance to play Backlot just yet. But I feel like as these teams get further in the tournament, I mean, I know we're on Final Four now, people will feel a little bit more comfortable with Backlot. But it has, as I said, I mean, it's been an anomaly for so many different teams across this broadcast. You can see teams where they'll come out, they'll win 6-0, like 6-0 in their first and the third map, but that Tausig Backlot right in the middle or right in the first map, I suppose, it really does mess teams up. So maybe that's what's going to happen here to Blame It on the Wi-Fi. They seem pretty dominant in map number 1, but maybe Tausig Backlot, maybe that's their Achilles heel. We shall see. It has proven to be so, as I said, for a number of teams in this tournament thus far. Let's see as we get into what could be our second and final map of this round of play. Let's see what will happen as we get into it. Of course, Blame It on the Wi-Fi going into this one 1-0 up. GSD Mania looking for a perfect search and destroy performance now if they wish to push it to a map number 3. But Backlot is the land of opportunity, the real land of opportunity, as it were. This is where anything can happen. The laws of physics. Well, I guess we're not going to go that far. The laws of physics do absolutely still apply here. Will GSG Mania come out with a win? Well, not for first blood, it would seem. Mantis has been well and truly tamed. So, Cronenberg Jake takes them down. Pod Racing responds with a beautiful kill onto Beautiful. And now Splood is going to make this into a 1-versus-1. It's down with the 725. And just as quickly as the round starts, it is over, I believe, within about 25 seconds there. Splood going to finish that round with the 725, his signature weapon. Just like that. Blame It on the Wi-Fi now, 1-0 up in this search and destroy. And I will say, right now as well, guys, for those of you in the chat, I see everyone's pretty active right now. Blame It on the Wi-Fi and GST Mania right now. You're probably going to see them go head-to-head on A a lot here. A is their preferred bomb site. It is very close to the GST Mania spawn, or I should say the offensive spawn. That's not been the case, though, actually, for this round, so I've probably called that at the entirely wrong time. It's GSD Mania instead opting to go for a more reserved push, potentially towards B. Now, though, it will actually be vying for a mid-map control. So Mantis picks up that first blood onto Jake. Beautiful going to be responding, and now it's a 2-versus-2 here, as GSD Mania still haven't quite decided where they want to take this bomb, but now, oh, the world is their oyster. They're in a 2-versus-1. Explode is left up with a 725 to cover the B site. GSD Mania going towards A. And you feel like GSD Mania here may just get this bomb down and walk away. Explode, though, coming through with the smoke. Oh, surely not. The 725 Flip. They're not going to have any more shells. And that is the one downside to the 725. I will admit, I'll be the first person to admit the 725 is possibly a top 3 most powerful weapon in the game, or maybe even top 2. I'd probably argue it's up there. It's probably like the most powerful weapon in the game, to be honest with you. But the one downside to it, of course, is that you literally only have 2 shells. I believe there might be an attachment to change that. I'm not entirely sure, but you do only have 2 shells. And once you do that, once you fire off those shells, you have to reload. And there you go. You're going to see Splode seeing that downside as he takes 2 shots to get the first kill and doesn't have any more shots in the weapon for the second. GST Mania now, though, have been able to tie this one up at 1-1. On the Wi-Fi, let's see if they can take a 2-1 advantage at the end of their offensive rounds. GST Mania doing a great job of defending so far. Mantis takes a player out. Unfortunately for Mantis, they're now in a 1 versus 2. Bomb down. Blame it on the Wi-Fi here. Have done a great job of just basically claiming this A site all to themselves. They can get this bomb down whenever they realistically want to. Of course, it is actually Mantis who needs to get this bomb down at this point. Mantis going to get shot from up top. Splode with the M4A1. Of course, the overkill going to allow them to have both the M4 and the 725. And just like that, folks, it's going to be blame it on the Wi-Fi. Up 2-1 in this search and destroy. Now blame it on the Wi-Fi, of course, with the advantage. They're now going to switch sides as they go to the offense. Let's see if they can extrapolate this advantage into a win. They won't be able to finish out the series on this set of 3 offensive rounds, but they will at the very least be able to walk away with a solid advantage if they can continue to win. But 1 man down, blame it on the Wi-Fi, have to defend this site. Splode turns around with 725, picks up the first blood. Has the support of Cronenberg Jake. Cronenberg Jake going to win that first fight onto Dimewise, and now it is a 1 versus 2 here for pod racing. I see there are fans of pod racing in the chat, but unfortunately the fan support is not going to be enough to get him through that one. Splode 725, just a little bit stronger, and pod racing is going to fall through the wall, no less. It's a very strong 725. Now 3-1 up. I'll blame it on the Wi-Fi. I said that the A-bomb site was preferred, and this is exactly why. I blame it on the Wi-Fi, essentially able to move straight towards the A site. And realistically, there are no downsides to going straight towards A. You can see that once again extrapolated in that first gunfight from Beautiful. Wins the one-on-one engagement. Looking for the second is going to be Cronenberg Jake. Can they win it? And Dimewise gonna fall just like that. I think Splode finishes out the round, and well, him on the Wi-Fi just as quickly as they were 3-1 up. Takes only 15 to 20 seconds, so that's be 4-1 up here, folks. One up. I'll blame it on the Wi-Fi. GST Mania now need a pretty quick comeback, to be honest with you guys. Of course, they did lose map number 1, 6-2. Blame it on the Wi-Fi, seem well on their way to taking such a win once again here. That being said, Blanche is going to strike first. Takes down Cronenberg Jake, but a response from Beautiful means that this is now a 2 versus 2. Beautiful goes to collect that bomb, and it's still angling for a B plant. I think Splode may have just spotted out Dimewise, and you can see Splode hunting them down like... I can almost hear the Jaws music in the background. There it is. Gets a little bit louder as Dimewise falls to Splode, and now it's down to just 1 player. Blame it on the Wi-Fi. Take the win here in round number 6. 5-1 up. I'll blame it on the Wi-Fi. You now need a flawless performance from GST Mania. And I honestly don't know if they're capable of it. Not against this Blame It on the Wi-Fi side, not against a side that is just played so well. Well, here it is. GST Mania now. 5-1 down. Blame It on the Wi-Fi here. Looking to end it in one fell swoop. One round. Let's see if they can do it. Cronenberg, Jake Beautiful, and Splode. Looking to win it here, and I think there's a streak coming in. It is going to be Splode with a close. Oh no! Splode gets two with the cruise missile. I thought it was going to be all three, but Dynamite's now left up in a 1 versus 3. The worst bit about this, of course, is that Blame It on the Wi-Fi are fully aware of where they are, and just like that, Dynamite is hunted down. Blame It on the Wi-Fi win that 7th round, and they have all they need to finish this series off in 2 maps. What a performance from Blame It on the Wi-Fi. Dominant, I think, is the word you're looking for here, folks, as GST Mania just can't do anything against a Splode that I believe finishes 11-1 with an ace in the final round. Just what a performance there from Blame It on the Wi-Fi. They, for a team that's named Blame It on the Wi-Fi, they haven't had all that much to blame on the Wi-Fi just yet. A great performance from them, and they will be moving on as our 4th and final team in the semi-finals. That is just such a great day of Call of Duty action from everybody here participating in the Activision Blizzard Media Agency Showdown. But as I said, there is 4 teams now moving on to the semi-finals, aligned by EOD, WK United, UME Tribe, and Blame It on the Wi-Fi. All 4 of those rosters will be moving on to the semi-finals. And if you want to catch that, first of all, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because then, of course, you'll be notified when we do go live for the semi-finals. Secondly, it'll be live at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. You just have 2 matches, and of course, that will decide who goes through to the championship match for Friday. For now, though, guys, thanks to everyone who has tuned in here in today's broadcast. It's been great to see the support from everybody in the chat. Don't worry, I know that you're there, and I can see everyone's support for the donut. Honestly, if there was a joint open right now that would serve me a donut at 1:30 a.m., I would absolutely buy a donut, but unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. Thank you, though, to everyone who has been in the chat and shown support for the stream. Again, it's so nice to see everyone who is just enjoying the action from home. But more importantly, stay safe, stay inside, and just make sure you guys are enjoying the stream, because we've got a lot more Call of Duty action to come. Just 3 more matches left in this tournament. The semi-finals will be live tomorrow from 5 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss it. For now, though, guys, have a good night, and we'll see you then.